Well, hello, everybody. How are you all doing? It's Friday night, and it is awesome to be here on the 111th episode of the Comic Shop Talk. And this is a very notable, very super notable episode, might I add you. We've done a lot of Marvel comics for, talk abouts, discussions. We've never done an indie comic before, and this is nice that we did one. So about a month back, we did a vote, and the people spoke. The people spoke. It was like, okay, we look at these Mark Millar books, and we're like, Starlight or Hook, Starlight or Hook, and there was a big vote, and there's no 3 a.m. ballot fortification, though I did consider it. But I didn't do it. See, I restrained myself. And you guys responded with Starlight. Which hey, that's a tough one to do when you have Starlight and Huck. How do you make the choice, man? How do you make the choice? But the market decides, and well, Starlight it was. So we're gonna be talking about this tonight. Mark Millar, Goran Parlov, your good old European artist. But before we do, let's acknowledge some faces in the chat and also give a little preview of what's to come next weekend. So I see what's up, Kingsport Cal, Vulcan Lives, D Bud Martin, Tuna Guyan. What's up, guys? All right, so first things first, let's get it going and show off for next week. It is the 100th episode of Toxic Tuesday, and I'm gonna put the link in the chat. All right, let's get that link here. This is your chance now to save the link. This is our equivalent of saving the date. What's up, Gonzalo Bergali? Right here is the link, and I'm going to share the page here right now. Where is it? Here we go. Right here. So that's the link in the description, and Toxic Tuesday episode 100. I mean, if this isn't a dead giveaway of what we're talking about, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's pretty obvious by looking at that thumbnail. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be a party, and you can bet that there will absolutely be pizza ordered from at least most of the gentlemen on the panel. If we could do all of them, that'd be an even bigger success. So, hey, there's Dearest. Yes, there will be pizza, Dearest. What's up, Dearest? Dalu, hello. Thank you guys for being here. But yes, right there, once again, here's the link. Go set your reminders right where it's at notify me bell where it says live in 3 days. Set that bell because that is going to be a lot more useful than the reminders. And next week, we'll have a Friday night off. I had meant to originally do last week, but I had mistook the date, and so we ended up doing a show last week, which absolutely was awesome and great and fun. But it'll be next Friday for sure. That is the correct day. But we'll be back the next week after that. Business as usual. All right, let's bring in our panelists. But once again, Toxic Tuesday episode 100. TMNT. Let's bring in the dudes. How's it going, Fenrir, the Ice Wolf, master of the entertainment?
I'm great, and I'm just gonna say this out of the blue, and I'm gonna fight anyone that disagrees with me right to the death. Dio is the greatest musician of all time, second to Bowie. You wanna fight me? Fight me.
Who? Dio?
Yeah,
The band or the singer?
the band.
Dio's a
Shit, I'm
fantastic
so high
band.
right now that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically, I've just been listening to Holy Diver for the last couple of weeks nonstop, and I might be onto something.
It's a good
God
album.
damn it!
All the albums
The
from Dio are
freaking
good, really.
Yeah, they are. They freaking are. I mean, the video stuff they did. Oh man, they actually. It feels like you're watching an old movie, one of the good kinds. Man, so beautiful. Open my freaking
I,
soul, dude.
I'm gonna have a hot take here. I don't agree. For me, Dio is my Sabbath. I like the Masters of Reality album from Ozzy Sabbath. I think it's a fantastic album, even. Paranoid's pretty good too. But for me, Heaven and Hell and The Mob Rules are my definitive Black Sabbath albums. Definitive. So good to have you here, Fenrir. I do appreciate your presence here. I'm glad you're able to join us and actually read and talk about this comic. So,
oh yeah, and I gotta say it's pretty good stuff. Specifically, if you're a fan of the Flash Gordon, Mark Millar has a specific style of writing in most of his stories, and they kind of get me off a little bit. But when I got into this, I was pretty surprised out of the positivity. Specifically because it helps you a lot if you're following his most recent stuff, like the new Big Game. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we'll probably have a little sliver of a hint about Big Game. All right, we definitely will, because that's a whole other can of worms. But we also have some more rivals. Po Baby 74, welcome. Sleazy 005, welcome to the show. I've not seen you here before, but glad to have you here and joining us. BMG 2040, giving the horns. Salute to you, sir. We also had before the show started, McFly. Hey, McFly, I see you're a member here. McFly, you're a member, and you're a huge member too. Thank you for joining, McFly. All right, I do appreciate it, and because you did,
huge.
All right. Let's bring on some of the other dudes. What's up, Diesel? How's it going, Ironcaster? Nice Bloodroot shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got it with my stuff. I just kind of kept forgetting, like, I had it here. I'm like, oh yeah, I should get that. I wore it. Hey, maybe that should finally convince me to get around to actually, reading that book. Which I still haven't done.
Wow. Okay.
Well, in my defense, like, the new Netflix One Piece series came out, and I guess that scares Fenrir off.
Yeah. It didn't take much. It didn't take much.
Also, I had to go back to the comic book store.
Go on.
I had to get the Hyperborea
cover. Yeah. Hell, we're gonna zoom in real quick. Yeah, let's do that. See, that map is nice. I'm so glad I scooped that up last month. I was like, dude, it's worth it. Like I said, I've made it very well documented and clear. I'm not a variant guy, but that was one of my few exceptions. That map is nice. Oh, dude.
And I get issue.
That is, yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's nice. Yes. That's nice. Fighting a tiger too, and then there's a lion in back of him. I love it. Love it. Oh, dude. Yeah. Soon we gotta get our names on there, Caster. That's what we gotta do next. We'll make up for it when we review issue 3. I did talk to Andre from Midnight's Edge. He did say there's a big stuff for issue 3. So I'm like, okay, Caster and I are gonna pick back up for that one. So it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be awesome.
We'll do an issue 3 check-in.
I love it. Love it. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be great. All right, let's bring in our other dudes here. How's it going, the Common Nerd? Nice shirt.
Thanks. Yeah, make Marvel
We're all rocking some great shirts today. You got Make Marvel Mail again. Caster's got Bloodruth. I got Bluey Best Dad.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
My daughter loves Bluey, dude. That shit's fucking great.
Dude, have you watched Bluey?
Dude, I catch the episodes, while she's watching them too. It's like the only thing that's safe to watch on Disney Plus.
Because it is a fantastic show. It feels almost out of place in this day and age, but it is so good.
It was really funny too, because those creators down in Australia, like somebody tried to say something about like this episode where the dad was like getting a little fat and decided to like work out and like stop lose a few pounds. They were like, that's fat shaming, and the creators were like, eat our dicks, like the best way an Australian would tell you to do that, which would probably be much more expletives. But yeah, so that was
Yes.
pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I actually really enjoyed this. I read it. I read all the 6 issues this evening / afternoon, and yeah, this was really good. So I'm excited to talk about this. Starlight's freaking dope. But I'm still waiting on my Rippaverse stuff. So I'm uber jealous, but I'm waiting on my box.
You'll get
I'm
there.
waiting on
When
my
you do,
box.
we'll definitely have a review panel. We'll definitely do a review
yeah.
panel if you guys are down. And we got a $5 super chat. How's it
Damn.
going, Chernobyl? Says, commenter, do you have an address? I need to send you some comics. I do know he's on my Gilded server. So, I mean,
I am on
comment,
the
I don't mean
Gilded.
to sound like I'm speaking for you, but I do know you're both on my server. Maybe DM each other. Just an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, either one.
Yeah,
Either
just to make it easier for our boy here, because Chernobyl sent me comics a while ago, which, thank you, by the
Nice.
way. Dude, I even did is he the only guy I've done like a strip unboxing video for. So shout out to Chernobyl.
Hell yeah.
Good guy, very generous guy. I'm hoping when I do a meetup down the line, I get to meet you and maybe have some pizza. Just saying. Love that pizza with you, Chernobyl, but that's a very generous donation for just asking Common Nerd something, man. Very, very generous.
Yeah.
Thank you for starting out the night so
Yeah.
exquisitely. We got 2
Great
other
guy.
gentlemen in the back. One of them is the clobberer himself.
Hey, Clobbering Toms. What's up, my buddies? Good to see you.
See ya,
Good to see you, my
man.
friends.
Bobby.
Friends of the
Hell
chat.
yeah.
Pals on the panel. What's up? And
Happy to
hello,
be
hello.
here.
shout out to
Uh,
special shout out to Ironcaster. Thank you. I think you know why.
Oh,
Whoa.
He knows why.
something cool.
He was a contributor.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You know, for the thing.
it's another thing. It's about something in particular. It's good.
Our cast
But
is
I thank
always
you, though.
contributing. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Love it. Clobby.
You know, Diesel. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, of course. The great dude. No, I was just saying, dude. It's good to have you here as always.
Thank you,
Even
bro.
though I know you got a loaded schedule, and still you somehow managed to swing in the time to
when I
make
can,
it all
when I can.
happen.
Yeah, buddy. All for you, man. All for you and the gang.
All right. And last but not least, well, you all love him, and we will let him introduce himself. Howdy how!
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
Pablo, sir, it is awesome to see you. How are you doing on this Friday night?
It has been a crazy day. I finished the Blue Beetle review for Midnight Edge Espanol because I had to do a ton of videos this week. So,
Did you do the newest one for Midnight's Edge? The 20-minute one?
the 20-minute one, I did a part of. Tom
You
did
did
the
part
rest.
of. Okay.
Yeah,
it's a
because
collaborative effort.
it was information that needed to go out at that moment because, well, it's an exclusive.
Breaking news.
Yep. So it's really interesting if you want to know the DC side of things. They are that stupid. Yes, they are. So
Yeah, I saw that. It is just insane how stupid.
that was one of the most ridiculous moves that I have ever seen a company do for marketing. And
I mean, a kid eating glue with dirt in the middle of a playground is smarter than what the hell they're doing.
yeah, it was just we don't want the Snyder fans, so we are saying that the Snyder stuff doesn't matter while they have 4 movies still to go of those movies. So they kill all momentum instantly, and it was that stupid. They just wanted to, yeah. But yeah, I recommend watching that video. And well, if you understand Spanish, in the Midnight Edge Español, I do a review of Blue Beetle that I enjoyed. There's a lot of stupid from the beginning when they have that montage at the beginning. Instead of showing the scarab on Egypt, they show it on an Aztec culture or something like that, and I was like, God damn it! But then the movie
That really
was,
didn't make sense.
yeah, the movie was like still, but with good effects. It's, I really mean it. It's still.
Plus, it had a lot of references that you wouldn't really understand unless you've actually seen Latino television. And I'm lucky because I only saw it because my grandma used to watch a lot of old telenovelas, and
Dude,
I
it was
barely
my
know the scratch rate.
childhood. I
So
saw my
Yeah, well,
childhood.
mine
with
too.
that
I'm
movie.
But
gonna be
not
the
everyone
derailer
has it.
here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the
Oh,
derailer
sorry.
here. No, it's
Yeah, sorry
okay.
about
I'm gonna
that.
be the
My bad.
derailer here. I know it's easy to get carried away, but I'm gonna be the derailer here. That we have a show here, and yes, go sub to Midnight's Edge Espanol so you can watch Pablo's take on this, because Pablo always, and I mean always, has good thoughts. Always. Like there's like obvious observations in life, like snow is white, water's wet, the sky is blue, Superman flies, Spider-Man spins a web. Pablo has great takes. Watch his
I'm
review for this stuff when it comes out. Okay.
Spider-Man and
So
Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
yeah.
There's
I'm
your
amazed
and
that, man.
Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So there's your honorable plug to sub to your channel, because we got another few people arriving and we got a good crowd here, and we gotta do a toast, and we got a comic we gotta talk about as well. So let's acknowledge RJ Godzilla 81, Dave C, Christian Delorme, Kendon Bronner. Thank you all for being here, gentlemen. I love seeing a good crowd here. So guys, are we ready to talk Starlight tonight? Are we ready to talk Starlight? I
Yes,
know
sir.
I'm ready. I'm very, very ready. But right before we talk about two, we're gonna highlight a few excerpts from an interview I found back when this comic was coming out. And it's stuff that is very prophetic to where he is now with this comic Mill World storyline. Also, a little description stuff on this comic. So to all
Nick,
of you in the chat, what's up, Caster?
I'll just say before we do get into some of the interview stuff, with this being an indie book, why don't we give the elevator pitch for it? For
Buck
anyone who's unaware.
Rogers. If you like Buck Rogers, if you like Flash
Flash
Gordon,
mixed with a little
it's
bit of
got
Flash
an old.
Gordon.
It's
So I'd
school
say
Col- What?
old school comic strip Flash Gordon meets Miller's Dark Knight with a lighter touch to it.
Yes. I would say I'd even dare I say a more heroic take on the Dark Knight
far more.
Returns.
I know,
Yeah,
just talking about the standpoint of the older guy coming back out of
Yeah.
retirement, the older hero, the old washed up, quote unquote washed up hero
Yes.
with a different day.
It's Flash Gordon returning back to those adventures, to going back out into space 40 years after he retired.
With some different twists. Yes.
Yeah, with a few twists, and yeah, this is a world he saved a world that he had unexpectedly did not intend to save. It just he was the right man at the right place at the right time, and because he was in that position, he ended up saving the world. And then he went back home, and then when he comes back home, which was Earth, of course, and Earth, he has literally no recognition. He comes off as the crazy guy that no one believes that he saved another world. And that's
Right.
and yeah, except his wife, his sons don't even believe him, even though he had a very long-lasting marriage. And in this world that he saved, which was called Tantalus, that world loved that he saved them from a dictatorship, and they loved him so much that they made music about him. They made a statue about him. They
Hell, they
loved
even
that.
watch old TV because of him.
Well, that Tantalus is a Star Trek name, by the way.
Is it really?
Yes.
Name of a Star
No,
Trek
I did not
planet.
know that.
Star Trek
He
planet.
probably had a kick out of that. That's awesome. So, yeah, they he saved Tantalus, and his name is awesome. By the way, shout out to Mark for this. Duke McQueen. You want to talk about one of the coolest names? That name has some energy to that name. That has one of those old school classic names. He nailed it with that name. I was like, dude, what a freaking awesome name. So
how is this not a movie? How has this not been a movie?
I do know that there are movie rights that are really complicated, and they're tied up with 20th Century. I do know that. There's some, because apparently when before Miller World got bought out from Netflix, there was apparently Fox had purchased strictly and exclusively Starlight. And apparently, the license to that expires in a few years if they don't make something on it. So I don't know what's the holdup now because I know. Hold on, actually, I got backtracked slightly. They had bought the license, I think, to Starlight and Nemesis. I know for sure Starlight. I think Nemesis too, but for sure Starlight. And Starlight's name was named by Brian Hitch. Brian Hitch, actually, even though he was not a part of this book, he contributed to that title. And also, this book has a bevy of Goran Parlov on the interiors, but a bevy of cover artists. You have John Cassaday. You have Travis Charest for cover for issue 4. So you got a nice who's who going on with the covers. And we'll look at those covers, and we get to look at the European-esque style of Mr. Goran Parlov as well. So let's highlight some excerpts from this interview because, this is kind of important right here. So what's the origin of the title Starlight? How does it relate to the story? And Mark says, actually, the title itself comes from the great Brian Hitch. I didn't actually have a title, which is annoying because if it doesn't come right away, it's always like pulling teeth. So I sent a copy of the first issue to a dozen friends and asked for help. And Brian came back with Starlight, which I instantly liked. Instinctively, it just felt right because it has a kind of Twilight of the Gods feel, a final adventure, but felt retro sci-fi at the same time. I agree on that. As soon as I saw it on Brian's list of about 40 suggestions, it immediately resonated. Wow, 40 suggestions. This is the story of an old space hero coming out of retirement for one last possibly fatal mission. Oh, yeah, definitely fatal, especially with his age. And when I saw the logo over John Cassaday's cover, I just knew it was 100% right. I saw that, and I'm like, and that really stuck out to me. So and here's this other excerpt I want to go over before we actually show out the comment, talk about the issue. So it says here, the Miller World titles have been Earth-based thus far. What led you to outer space for this tale? And then Miller says, I had this big grand plan. That should ring a few bells for some of you guys in the chat on the panel. It goes all the way back to Wanted #1, which at this point in time was 10 years ago. In about 6 years' time, you'll see how this ties into something I have planned at the end of the decade. So for those who are not aware, he's alluding to Big Game. So obviously Big Game came a few years later, and I'm sure some world events definitely delayed that a year or two. But that's obviously a reference to Big Game, which is the current big event book that he's doing with the first big crossover with all the Miller World titles going on. So continuing, says, I have a big plan at the end of the decade. If that doesn't make me sound like the guy in A Beautiful Mind or maybe a Scottish ginger Doctor Doom. I like that humor. But basically, the launch of the Miller World universe from the pages of Kick-Ass 3 is just where this all goes from here and over the next few years. I have 9 or 10 new titles with enormous artist plan. Starlight being the first of them. But more coming from the likes of Sean Gordon Murphy, Jay Lee, Brian Hitch, and others on top of the established books, returning by Frank Whiteley, Steve McNiven, and so on. But Starlight #1 is where this next phase kicks off. If you really want to appreciate everything we have coming up, you really need to read this book because absolutely everything ties into it. Whether it's Wesley Gibson or American Jesus or Jupiter's Legacy or Kick-Ass. We'll pull back and see the big picture of what's going on here, but at the same time, it's also a brilliant jumping on point for new readers. Plus, Buzz Lightyear meets Unforgiven is such a good hook. You can't not want to see where this thing is going. That's a great hook, too. If I heard an elevator pitch like that, I can actually see where you come up with that with the Buzz Lightyear. I like that, too. I thought that was cool to hear as well. I'm like, oh, man, Buzz Lightyear? I'm with it. I'm absolutely with it.
Yeah, especially when he's got his big round dome helmet on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's spot on, Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
What's up,
the
Mojo?
retro-futuristic elements of this are just great.
But there's something about that description that it will be really difficult to yield for a movie right now because they think Unforgiven is about a broken man because basically man bad. Instead of reality is the world. Everything keeps moving, and you become obsolete, and your accomplishments become basically nothing because,
And
well,
let's be honest, if they did this movie today, odds are he'd get the Luke Skywalker treatment.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. If
Because
they do
old
something
people
like,
can't be happy.
yeah, this
ever.
is not a man that is broken because he's a bad man or anything. He loses his wife. He has been a joke of the town for a long time because he has a story that nobody will believe, and that's it. He's not sour. He's not angry. He's just
Yet
He's
they
tired.
give
honestly
him
just
every
bored.
right to be. That's an interesting part. They give him every right to be,
Yeah.
and he still chooses not to. And that's what I love that they did, because it's such a
He's a good
cliche
man at
that
heart.
when they do all these things that they have to be angry. It's like, yeah, he's frustrated, but he still has a heart. He still cares about his family. He hasn't let his emotions get the best of him, even though he has all the right reasons to.
He's still the hero. That's the thing. He never stopped being the hero. He leaves that planet. He goes back to Earth. He has his life, but yeah, he's still the same person. He doesn't change. He doesn't fall off that
He
moral
doesn't open
point,
a farm and starts drinking green milk as he laments that his grandnephew killed him.
or becomes evil, or any of that. He's just an old man, like
Mhm.
we
A
all
good
will
old
be.
man.
Yeah,
I really like the way they open this book up though, where it's sort of the medal ceremony where he's being given this big award. He's basically having this sort of last moment of kind of reflecting on all that.
Tantalus looks
Also-
great, by the way.
Abs-
Come on.
Absolutely.
And I love his humbleness. I feel like an idiot. Saves the world,
if you-
but he feels like an idiot.
This
carry
kinds
on,
of world,
Caster.
we don't get
Hold on.
designs of alien worlds like these anymore. It's always just some kind
Yeah.
of generic kind of city.
Well, it's
You're on,
this is
Chester.
purposely done to be a very sort of Art Deco inspired architecture, because it's
Yeah,
calling
but
back
even
to that
some
sort of
Legion domes right there.
Oh yeah, but like I said, it's just with the design of the buildings. This is very meant to kind of back into that 1930s sort of Art Deco styled architecture, which helps really set this in place for what this world should be like, for how it feels when you read this. But
Fantastic.
my point is a couple of pages in here still, just sort of all of this, as we quickly realize, is his dreams. He's dreaming of the past, of this moment, of being this big hero, having saved the world, and he's
Toxicity.
the flow of
Yeah.
this issue is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. This is the another equivalent would be Up
Yeah,
for that sort of.
Yes.
He has a
Absolutely. I didn't even think
cinematic
about that.
approach to how the story, the way the story flows. I could see all this happening as a scene for scene beat.
Yes, and to you're going from these big heroic moments to look at him. Just if you scroll up just that hair, you're looking at the room. Scroll. Yep, there we go. Just a little bit. I want this panel right here, because it's like there's so much you can kind of look at this and tell. It's like it's 7 a.m. Here he is sitting up in bed. He's first thing lighting up the smoke. Everything's kind of disheveled. There's something missing. You don't quite realize it at first, but it's kind of obvious. There's something or someone missing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have the jewelry, you have the bag, you have everything. You don't have her.
Nope.
Mhm.
Nope. The dress, the shoes, all of it, all the jewelry's still out.
Yeah, it all says.
Yeah,
Something's missing.
it's those little attentions to detail that I love with this book here.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of going, like I said, he's just going through the motions. He's this very sad and somber. You don't quite realize what they're trying to build up here. and then you see him after he's getting dressed. He's putting a black suit on. He's getting into a car with his family. Everyone's got these really dour looks in their faces.
Mm-hmm.
All for them to finally, bring it up. It's like, I miss grandma. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I like this panel because I like this triple panel here. I can hear this panel play out.
Yes.
That's what I love
Oh,
about this.
I can see
can
it cinematically.
hear it play out. Yeah. Yeah. I can hear all of it going on in that moment. Like I said, it feels like, because, your boy Zach has summed it up with a lot of stories or comics are written to be like a Netflix pitch. This feels like something Netflix, unless if they did a massive budget, they're gonna have to really step it if they want to pull off a story like this faithfully, unless they did animation. If they did animation, I think with the colors that happen in this book, I feel like the colors would be amazing to watch in animation. And you could also too, especially for an older guy, if you had an older guy be cast first, they could just do the voice. They could just do a voice and not have to worry about the older guy not being too, had to worry about stunts. Obviously, you get stunt doubles, but I think it'd be cool if you just had an older guy just do the voice. It'd be so cool if you had him do the voice. Claude, you had anything you want to add to this issues?
Oh, no, not so far. I'm here for you. I'm here for this. I just love the setup of this first issue, though. We'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you see here in the early stages. I mean, really, the whole first issue. You can imagine yourself at the theater watching this as a movie with a great idea, and it's all sold by the character of Duke McQueen. He's not a caricature at all. He's really a genuine, great character, and not a broken. I mean, just a man who's sad about things that happened to him in life, but still not completely broken. He still loves his family, and in fact, he's even more of a great character when you think of how he's had to put up with 40-something years of people disbelieving him and treating him like a joke.
And his kids pretty much just leaving him behind.
I like this moment here, though. I thought this was such a great flashback. The fact that you see him and his wife, and they see, hey, look at that couple over there. And I thought, wow, that's such a cool, heartwarming panel.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic bit, because and I was like, wow, that is a great perspective to see it as a whole, remind you of anyone, and the whole, hey, that was us when we were going. And I love the humorous touch with, I still do that. I still look at for the cheapest enemy.
When I read that, I was like, that sounds exactly like my grandfather. Like, that's exactly what he would say. I was like, that's the old man.
Dude, that sounds exactly like me. I have been in that position.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. God damn, I was ashamed to say it, but I do the same thing.
Once I was taken to this luxury hotel by the company that I was working with. I had access to anything. I opened the menu. Okay, what's the cheapest? That I could have spent thousands of dollars. Nobody would have cared.
That last panel right there, when it was like, "Can you feel a lump?" It's like that told you everything, and you're like, and that's all it took.
Subtle writing,
right? But that's all it took, though, was just that, because everybody in this life has been touched by cancer at some point, and that's all you got to hear. Can you feel this lump? And everybody knew instantaneously cancer, and it's like cancer.
What more needs to be said?
The shittiest thing ever. You got to admit, it kind of must be killing him. I mean, the guy was once in a fantastical world with the kinds of stuff that was religiously magical in our eyes. And what if he still had that? God, it must kill him. Still, though, this page made me hate his kids. They're a bunch of little douchebags.
Well, at the same time, here they are adults in their own rights with their lives, and this is just a very human thing. I can remember being around, hearing these conversations. Like, I'm at a point where I know that I'm gonna have to at some point here have these conversations. Like, I totally get this, and it's just it's like they don't want dad to be alone.
Yeah,
it's conflicting.
And
I love these.
This is how you do
flashbacks, too.
gray area sucks. This is actual tough stuff. Not this, oh, some ginger and Falcon and the Winter Soldier blew up innocent people, but somehow she still misunderstood. That's not gray area. This is an actual gray area. This is, if you want to do gray, this is how you deal with a complex situation. Because yes, their dad is still in decent shape for a guy his age. But at the same time, they do feel bad about keeping alone. But at the same time, they also have places of their own because they do have lives as well, respectively. Yes, their sons. It sucks that they don't believe their dad, but at the same time, they still care about him at the end of the day. This is an actual complex situation that I could see why they do things the way they want to, but at the same time, I still feel for their dad. This is how you do complexity, and shout out to Mark for that.
And also, they don't try to answer the questions, answer certain ones like that, because ultimately it doesn't ultimately service the story itself.
I love,
but it does help
New
to
Yorker. Let's
I love that. He's
America.
like, kick to the groin. He's like, that's not gentlemanly. New Yorker, we're rude assholes. What do you want? Like, I love that scene.
The one-liners are.
Sorry, Iron. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just didn't want to let that go past without bringing it up.
I got it. And how great is it just dropping the little quips and one-liners? Like, it feels like this could have even worked as like an 80s action movie.
Oh
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. I could see, like, especially like with the 80s, I actually could see this working because even though you don't have the CG, the way they make a lot of the practical effects, a lot of it's aged very well, and I could see a lot of it aging very, very well into 2023. I love this. Yeah, the flow of the story, the way the world building sets up so quick, but it doesn't feel rushed despite how much he has to add, because he has to add a cast, his supporting characters, his dual lifestyle, and he does it within 23 pages around there, estimately, in this first issue alone. And still, you feel caught up and you don't feel lost, even though you just absorbed a lot of information. You still feel like, okay, I understand everything that's going on. And 5 Pico, yes, 30, 45-minute episodes. They could do 6 episodes. I would be all in on that. Before we carry on quickly, I want to give a great shout to Wakazashi's Tea House, Uncommon Sense, the Comic Relief Crusader, The Nightwing, John Coppola, Uncommon Sense, and of course, 5 picoseconds. Thank you guys for dropping on in here. Carry it forward, Pablo.
Dude, this part is especially intense because he's just like having these thoughts about the past, about his adventures, and then you see the just mundane life that he has, and it starts hitting you. You will never have adventures like that. And even him that has have them, he's condemned to exactly the same.
Well, I mean, it's not even that he's thinking about it, but it's for us, the audience, to juxtapose and see the adventures he had, and then where he's at now, and what was behind him,
But you can feel it, because even if you had all these dreams about your life, and I want to do this and that, when you are old, and life becomes mundane. It's just doing chores and staying alive. And it's exactly what you see, and you feel it. You really feel it. That sensation of tedium. At the same time that you have these panels of
feeling that you
incredible
lost
stuff
control.
happening.
this panel kills me.
Yes.
It's okay. It's just my dad.
It's just my dad. That
I love
the
that
writing is
dragon
on
too,
point.
by the way. That's one point.
Yeah. Oh,
Man,
yeah.
this entire
Dragon was
the
so
first
cool.
issue is like just grabbing your heart and throwing it to the window.
Yeah, just shoving it in a blender, twisting it up, pouring it right back down your throat. Yeah, it's horrible. And I like on this part too, how they go from the different articles, where you go from like the ones of like everybody kind of like reporting his stuff like it's legit, right? And then the next ones are all making a mockery of him, laughing at him, and it's just like, oh god,
I think that's a
rough.
good reflection, and I don't know if it was or wasn't intentional, but the fact that I feel like it happened by chance, it shows you how quick the news are ready to flip on you at any second. That they could
100%.
tell a story about someone who just says something and then turn it into an opinion spin. This is what happens when everyone becomes J. Jonah Jameson. Straight up.
Yep.
But you know who always stood by him though?
Flash Thompson.
His wife.
His wife.
His wife.
Yes. I thought it was Spider-Man, but no, you're right. And that's what he loved because they were married for 38 years. He said they were married, so we don't know how long they were dating. But the fact that this is a position that he was in where he could have easily called it quits with Joanne, and he's just like, nah, I got this lady whole other distance, and she's still my lady. Even though he was at the top of his game in a whole other world. And so he's just like, no, I got someone back home. Holy honor and respect, man.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about this too, is showing that wholesome marriage, because he flat out calls her his soulmate when they're going through and talking about all that kind of stuff. And I love that. That's something that you love that kind of, that's life goals. You know what I mean? That's what that is. That's the kind of relationship you always hope to find and always hope to have. And like, I just love that. It just brings you back to a better time, man.
I love these comments of these guys. See, you dudes get it. You dudes get it. I love it. Well, you got a good chat here. They straight up get it. See, it wouldn't be paradise without my Joanne, dude.
Yep.
That is, man.
Yep.
That's the old-fashioned, good old American boy right there.
Yep. He was a man of class. He had it all on top of the world in another world, and he's just like, no, I'm still just another guy who still has the same lady. And he comes to his home where his life is the opposite. He's
he did the mission, but he still came home.
Yep.
I guess that's why the isekai thing fails all the time. They never try to actually get home. Oh, what am I saying? None of you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe Pablo, but he's not here.
We still love you anywhere, Finray. We still love you anyway.
And then the ship.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I was like,
oh.
Wait,
I had my ending.
Wait, I had the microphone and I was replying to Fenrir. Fenrir, there's a thing about isekai that you need to know. Not all the anime can be Log Horizon. That's it. And I was talking, and I actually make a huge explanation about it. Yeah, I started the camera instead of the microphone.
Okay. Still, but you do get my point, right? It becomes a bit stale when every single one never actually tries to go home.
No, there's a lot of isekais that people want to go home, but here is different because he doesn't want to go home because only his life. It's because of really an understanding of his position in the world. Fear is trying to go home to take care of his lady. And then he's just like, well, my boys are there. Maybe they don't believe me, but they are my boys. So it's a different sense. It's not just I want to go back to the things I know. It's I want to go back for the people I love. It's a different motivation. It's a really different motivation.
All right.
Yeah, in
great
anime
motivation.
Yeah. In isekais, you normally are the loner that nobody cares about, so you die and you become a hero, and
or
now
the
you
fat
have a
shit who
real
died in the
good life.
apartment with nothing but shit.
Yeah. In this is different. He has a family. He has a lady that he loves. He has a moral compass about how he has to be as a gentleman. So the motivation is more natural, more pure. It's not just enjoyment that in anime is quite normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I want pizza now.
Also, I want the
My wife's on the way home with buns. I'm gonna have sloppy joes here in a minute. But one of the things
you lucky bastard.
I know, right? One of the things that I was putting out in the chat though is that this is the kind of modern mythology we need, something to aspire to, something to make us want to be better, because this is like, this guy is a legitimately upstanding dude, right? Like he is a flat out, just straight good guy. And that's seeing that morality and seeing that honor inside of somebody is always so inspiring. It's makes for such a
Basically,
good
we
story.
need more positive characters who actually give hope and don't try to have you kill yourself every 5 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we have Hollywood, so
5.
So what you're saying is, if they made this movie, they would recast him, and they would redo something about his look.
he will
of the
have
character.
depression.
He will
or
be.
something like
And
that.
well, and
Depression.
the,
He
or he will
would
be,
probably, his wife probably cheated
or-
on him while he was out of there.
or
His
he's
kids
something,
are
no.
probably even
or
his.
something will be swapped. This is what I'm trying to say.
No,
Yeah.
Space Boy, no. Space Boy would be swapped and would be a 12-year-old female that would lead him around by the nose the entire time.
And Tilda Star would be the
Don't
actual
tell my
hero who
Diaz.
saves everyone
Yes.
and kicks him in the balls while he takes down the Emperor.
But we'll have to cast Idris Elba as Chad
no,
Thunder
here's
Cop.
the thing. Idris Elba wouldn't take no nonsense. He's like, no, you're not gonna make me a cuck in this movie. He's like, that's not gonna
Yeah.
Right.
I was actually thinking he will kill it in in that role. I will not mind that casting.
Yeah. No, it'll be Idris
Yeah,
Elba like saving like
Elba
a
doesn't
15-year-old girl.
Mm.
But I mean, that's kind of the
All right.
difference with Idris versus a lot of other people too. So, but
Yeah, he's more a
He's
base
got
chap.
standards.
Yeah.
5.
yes.
Yes, I did mention, and this is the proof in the Belgian chocolate pudding. You see that he's not a one-trick pony, especially with his indie stuff. That for me, that's always been my thing. Was I feel like Mark shines best with his creations. I think the amount of care he puts into his stories, whether you like him or don't, you could tell he definitely pours his heart into his stories, whether it's for something super wholesome or the most edgelord based thing in the world. You do see that he definitely gives it a shot every single time, and that is absolutely very respectable. And what's up, Eppers NM and Jason Saber for $2? What's up, Jason? The World Millar Goran Parlov books. Well, I agree with you.
True.
I do agree, Jason. Now, my only complaint towards that is I still want another Jupiter comic. So I'm waiting to hear about Jupiter.
What, the Jupiter's
2.
Legacy?
What? Nah,
No,
I'm just talking straight Jupiter from our boy Jason here. His creation. Now,
Oh,
guys, let's admire this great cover from Bill Sienkiewicz. He did issue 2's cover. I love the
Yes.
geography
Yes,
looking
so
cover
cool.
of this. I think geography, and obviously you're like, okay, this kid is clearly going to be the guy who's going to guide him around. Well, he kind of does the muscle. You got the guide and you got the muscle. And it's a trope, but a classic one that I'd say it's
works.
tried, tested, and
yeah, a lot of
always works.
a lot of Miller's books have this art that reflects in the human physique, yet has this unique sense of beyond. It's pretty great.
It's glorious.
He
It's
knows how to pick
beautiful.
them when it comes to his artists. He knows how to pick them. I don't know if that's like him and like management or if he's picking them individually himself. But whoever it is, there's good decisions clearly being made. And of course, a Goran Parlov variant looks really nice.
Mhm.
And I like this. Clearly, time where he's from, ages are different. But he's like, oh, I'm on Earth time, so I gotta be a little different. And I thought, 12 and a half. Okay, wow. Yeah, once again, I love that. Even though he's just a kid, he has respect immediately. You see right off the bat, he's
In
obviously
today's time, he would have.
he's got
Well,
respect.
I mean,
God, I can't even.
He knows history. He respects history. It's like, no, I know about the time when you did this, and clearly, we all know a kid like him was not alive when Duke McQueen saved the world at the time. But the fact that he knows that history and respects it, I was like, that's cool to see a youngin, respecting history.
yeah,
Well, and the best part is it's such a contrast from what happened to him at the grocery store in just the last episode. About the same age kids, too, right? They looked about the same
Mhm.
age. And like this is literally 180 degrees completely and totally different. And I thought that was really neat. That's a great contrast. That's a great story element. And I love this scene too. Like, and the kid's like, oh yeah, it's a retro starship. He's like, yeah, some people like to get the retro ones. No, they look way different now. But yeah, I love the retro look of that starship on the inside.
Oh yeah.
I do. No, that's a good pickup you mentioned with the kids he was just dealing with to the kid he's dealing with now. That is I never thought about it. And I've reread this probably 4 or 5 times. That is a great pick. I've never noticed that before, but you're right. Just within a few pages, he goes from kids who are just there to bring him down to a kid who's just like, I'm all about you, man. That wow, I wish I had known that before.
Wouldn't fly
And
today.
of course, this is a
That's why we get
conversation
together
that
and talk.
this is a conversation that of course makes so much sense because yeah, obviously his age is a factor, but also he's at this point in time, it's been a year since Joanne passed. And obviously for her, the anniversary, no one towed up. He's obviously really hurt down by this. And he's like, now all of a sudden I'm being tossed back into a situation. This makes so much sense for him to kind of be skeptical right out the bat. Like his age, the limitations, the grief, the fact that his family, you could say, I mean, this is a debatable where you could say they ditched kind of dished him. Yeah, I could see why he's so like emotionally skeptical. It's definitely emotionally skeptical, but then he thinks it over and logic comes into place and realize, you know what? I got nothing else going on. I might as well take the chance. And the fact that, and he's all happy the next morning. He's all like, oh, I'm so happy you're going to do this. I'm so happy you're going to do this. I'm just like, that is freaking awesome. Because, yeah, obviously, like, once again, if you know heroic stories, you know he's going to take the position and do it. But it feels that moment when he decides he's going to do it, still feels earned. It still feels very well earned.
The relationship
one of
is perfect. I love how they interact with each other.
Yeah, great dynamic. I agree.
One of the things that I
What
just
comment?
remembered when we were talking about, one of the things that we were just talking about when you brought up the fact that like the kids didn't show up for the anniversary and stuff like that. One of the things that I've noticed about going through and reading these comics, being able to tell a story without actually saying anything is a great talent. And I think it really marks the difference between a really good comic and something that's just okay. Because that scene in the dining room where you go in there and look at it and you see this guy, right? Like he's, former Air Force captain, pilot, kind of a military dude, kind of, doesn't really get into like the frilly things or anything like that. He's just kind of a no nonsense kind of guy, right? But when you see that picture of that dining room and every one of those napkins are done like a freaking swan, it's like fancier than your grandma ever made at Christmas dinner.
He put a soul
You know what I
into it, man.
He did. And it was just like they did. Oh, that was so crushing. God, that was so crushing. But that's just like I said, I just wanted to point that out because it shows incredible talent. It shows how quality it is. And Nick's got his mouth full of pizza, so we got to
The
keep
best
talking.
storytellers are the ones who can tell or the ones who can say entire chapters with just one image.
Yeah.
What I like
now-
too is, and he's another Goran's clearly another artist, and I think this is something I could see Mark be like, you know what? You get to tell the story here. I don't need to say anything over here. Because, like, if you just kind of look at the pages quickly and not think about dialogue, you kind of think of it as a quick read. But if you actually look at the pages and imagine the scenario as it moves fluidly in your head, you realize, oh, okay, I'm supposed to read the art too. Because you're supposed to imagine the flow of how everything is happening. Once again, much like a movie or a TV show, it has that flow to it where you're supposed to imagine the scenes right into the next thing and absorb the surroundings, what's on his mind. Yeah, I feel like the way that it flows, it's like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be, where you read the art as much as you read the writing.
This follows a lot of principles of storytelling that are really important. For example, The background, everything that is around, is a way to convey information. It's a story dump. It's a lore dump, without the necessity of you actually having to point it out, because it's information that the person will analyze and abstract from them for themselves. So you normally set up clues about everything. You set up the things that you want people to have in mind, so in the future when they pay up, you have that sensation of, oh, that was what I saw. It's a
Well-
good. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna let you finish your thought, Pablo. But no, one of the things that I really liked about going back to like that whole storytelling aspect, it's like you can see that like him smoking that cigarette out there on the field in front of that spaceship. Like, even if you've never smoked, like, everybody can relate to that feeling. Like, you just look at that and you go, I know exactly how he feels right there. I know exactly how that is. And it's just so freaking well done.
But the cigarette also works as a punctuation point. Is a marker, is a way to force that information of this is a really important moment without stating anything. He's just in bed at the beginning. He's smoking. I know he's watching the field and taking a decision, and he's smoking. And in later issues, when he's smoking, are moments that are really important for the decisions that he's taking or how he's feeling. So it's a way to accentuate tension. It's a way to accentuate what he's feeling, to convey it in a harsher way without saying a single word. And that's absolutely genius.
Yes, beautifully said, Pablo. Beautifully said. That is so spot on. And I just want to point out too, I love the design of these starships. Like, I absolutely love this stuff. Like, so cool.
So classic.
Like, this is like, it's like your like Flash Gordon, kind of like Buck Rogers kind of feeling. Yeah, that retro throwback. I absolutely love that, man.
When you see the ships in the other planet, when they are in the shipport, you can see some ships from Star Wars, from Star Trek, and it's really cool the way that they kind of modify them so they feel a little bit different, but you can still recognize them really clearly.
God, that's such a great comment from Uncommon. I can imagine a montage, dude. I could totally, I could hear it. Like, I think if I had, now I'm gonna be that guy. If I could pick a song like Nick, you need to pick some songs for it. One would be Eye of the Tiger. Two would be Hearts on Fire, because that part where it says Hearts on Fire, Strong Desire. Those two songs I feel like would be a very great hand in hand part of the soundtrack of this movie. I could hear both these songs. And it's the fact that he's like, oh, hold up. I'm just a little rusty. Just give me a moment here. I'm going to pick up quick right where I left off. As soon as he does. And it kind of gave me a little bit of a Back to the Future / The Rocketeer vibe. I got Back to the Future Rocketeer is what I got of these few pages. Because, it's the government. Oh, crap. Oh, no.
Oh, dude, I
we
love
don't need to
that
worry
so
about
much.
that. We got that hyperspace. Oh, crud. It's on now. Oh,
well, and I love that the kid's like
here.
The kid's like, we should turn on the cloaking device. He's like, are you kidding me? After the last 40 years of nobody believing me? No, we're not turning on the cloaking device. We're flying all over town. We're showing this thing off, baby. Get it.
You want to hit the drive-thru
This
before we
makes
go?
you smile because he earned it. He really
Oh,
earned
yeah.
it.
He's the common man, and that's exactly what I feel in every single panel. He's the common man, so know that he has the opportunity. I will shove it in your face, motherfuckers.
Yes. Now, I was having this moment. I was having a moment like this at work this week, where the machine I'm working on is making some noise, and I'm like, and I'm trying to talk with maintenance. I'm like, look, it's making this noise. Can you take a look at it? I have him come over. Nothing happens, and he's like going all like this for a half hour, and he's starting to walk away. And I go to use the machine. It starts going. It starts making the noise. I'm like, I knew I wasn't crazy. Well, that still remains to be
Well,
seen.
not
But
about
That
not,
happens
you're not
a
crazy
lot
about
with a
that. Yeah, you're
lot
not
of
crazy
shit,
about
man. There's
Yep.
times when I'm complaining about fans on my PC or stuff like that, and I bring a friend like, look, it's doing that. No, it does. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. And when they go away, God damn it. Yeah, that happens too much, man.
well, you see, clearly you don't talk to the machine, right? You gotta learn the proper language your machine likes to hear. Does it want to be sweet talked? Do you want to sit and talk with it? Like, come on, Millie, let's don't make a fool of me here. You're embarrassing me in front of my boss.
Yeah, I've been reading these Caiaphas Cain books and Warhammer 40K, and I promise this relates, but the tech priests that come in and fix all their technology, like one of the things you see happen in the book time and time again is the tech priests kick the machine to get it to work. Oh, just like always
That
smacking all your
works
computers.
with a lot of stuff, especially if there's connections internally that are not fixed, but you have to socket them. If they are a bit loose, can move them. But the issue is that they might be in a bad position and overheat or shit like that. But yeah, kicking is a strategy. Kicking is a really useful fixing strategy.
Sometimes hitting on the back does it too.
Yeah. Or if you are using an Xbox 360, you use a hot towel. Trust me, that
Yep.
works for a second.
One of the cool things I like about this scene too is like after going back to what we saw in the first issue and all of his flashbacks and how beautiful and majestic that look at that, like you go into this and you see this and you're like, holy cow, what happened? And that's even one of the comments he makes. He's like, this used to be a gorgeous forest. He's like, what happened? And he's like, the drillers happened.
And that face says it all. And because he realized I brought peace to this world, and 4 decades later, it's back to square one. It's such a hard thing for him to grasp, because it's like, man, I put in all this work. Sucks so bad to see. And then you hear why it happened, because everything got so good that people got comfortable. When they got comfortable, they didn't think about having like a law enforcement equivalent. They just thought, well, everything is fine. We don't need this. And you realize this is what happens. This is you could interpret this as this is what happens when we get too comfortable from good living.
But
Because when you get too comfortable, someone is
look for
watching and will take
problems.
advantage of that.
But did you notice that it went full circle? Because the new bad guy is like, I don't need doors. And what takes him out at the end?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have doors. It's that easy.
And he was
So,
stupid enough to get knives on his ceiling.
Yeah,
That's pretty much just a death sentence.
every single time
we'll get
somebody
to
gets
that.
confident, loses.
That's more of that setup payoff. That's what that's all about. We got 2 great covers here. We had once again Goran with another cover, and we have
Again, a great callback to the stories of old.
yes, dude. I
Well
like this
done,
cover.
Loco.
I really like it. It's very traditional looking, very traditional superhero looking cover. But once again, a good trope is a good trope, and it will always work and resonate. Yeah,
Yes.
this is Francisco Francavilla or Francavilla. I don't know how that's pronounced. Francisco, if you're out there listening, I'm trying. So bear with me. And I like this too. I like this logo because that's like something you see on more of like a traditional chapter book, a new science series. I do like that logo that's attached because it's like, man, it looks like something that would be on like a chapter book. What's up, Keely?
What's up, Keely? One of the things I really liked about these covers too is they remind me of those old posters they used to write in like the old science fiction stories, like the covers of those. Like, and I just thought that was really, I love that. I love that throwback stuff. I love all of that.
And what I like about this, hindsight being 2020, as our leader here loves, a lot of villains love to gloat. This guy's just like, yeah, the castle without doors. I'm in charge. This doesn't matter to me. And this is why this panel works so well, because he's a villain doesn't ever think about everything going wrong for them ever. They just think that everything works in their favor because of the villain and they don't have limits. He never considers how what he sees as his strength can become his weakness. But that's what villains do. They get cocky. They get obsessed with their vision and how they see things.
They
And
think
he's just like,
themselves
oh,
gods.
we don't need doors. That's what, like, he was having, and now I'm being figurative here. He's saying, yeah, that stuff's for weakness and losers. Like, yeah, you can think that all you want. Just wait until you see your words pay off later, buddy. All right. And this is probably one of the most brutal parts of this entire run here. The fact that you see what happens when Lord Kingfisher, he basically takes an opponent of the other side, the resistance, and he says, I'm going to make an example of you. This is what happens when you try to resist me. And he uses him to make an example, throws him down the pit. And this guy straight up goes bent backwards and broken because he refuses to give in. So it shows you, like, that's when you know it's an actual resistance movie, that you're at the mercy of the dictator himself. And still you're like, no, I'd rather die than give in to you. Even though that it sucks to see him getting bent backwards, I thought that was cool that they had him stand his ground before it happened. Because to me, I just see it as the loyalty perspective.
And one of the things I really like about this scene too is the fact that the villain intentionally mocks the the resistance, because he's like, I'm using your wealth to buy stupid toys. I took a year's worth of your ore to buy this stupid glove that gives me limited telekinesis. He's like, that's what I'm doing. That's how much dismissal, that's just like, that's straight villain stuff. You're like, you're an evil son of a bitch.
It really works to really kind of build him up as this very Darth Vader-esque figure. I mean, he's this imposing guy in the mask. He's able to like hold out a hand and just crush your body. It's a very on point.
I agree. Strongly agree. Yeah, I
Anybody
thought
else
about that
got
with the
some
whole Darth
weird-
Vader, and that makes sense. That's a Miller trope because he's a big Star Wars fan. That makes sense.
Anybody else got some weird Doctor Doom vibes from the guy? Well, cheap Doctor Doom. Cheap
A little
Dr.
bit,
Doom.
yeah. A
Well,
little bit. Very, very lightly. Especially with the green outfit and the hood of it all. And the
And the metal
ruling,
mask.
the ruling of a country or a planet. Yeah.
There's something that I thought about that technology that is really interesting, because he's not only manipulating the whole person. That will be the basic skill. If you think about telekinesis, you just levitate the person or maybe just compress it. He's compressing the organs one by one. He has that level of granularity on what he can use, or the way he can manipulate matter with that globe. So it's really, really menacing when you think about it. He can basically kill you from afar just by pressing one of the veins that conduct blood for your brain. It's that simple. When you have that level of granularity on a power that can manipulate matter, you can instantly kill a dozen people with a thought. So that level of power is really terrifying when you think about it. It's not just telekinesis. It's pinpoint, surgically accurate telekinesis. That's frightening.
Yeah, it's very terrifying when they use it that way. Because imagine just the guy just, instead of just fighting you straight up, he just rips out your spine.
Not even
Get
ripping
over
out your
here.
spine.
Or
Just
or
damaging the nerves
He grabs one of
one.
your ribs, one of your rib cage bones, and stabs your heart with it.
Yep.
No, guys, I have 2 words for you that I think will be far more effective. Testicular torsion.
Oh God! Even just imagining it.
Oh no!
Oh man, dude, why bring it up? Ah, that's just so wrong. Look, no. Look,
You-
the male telekinetics would at least have a code of honor not to do it. You don't do it to me, I won't do it to you. Just
Geneva
explain it that.
Convention. Geneva Convention.
Jesus Christ.
You need to learn how to use the Force. You need
Yeah,
to
but there's
learn.
a limit. I mean, not even Palpatine would do that.
So
I love that scene too, right
continuing
here.
on, I love that right off the bat. Duke is just like, oh man, there's already a situation going on. I'm gonna get involved. And Spaceboy is just like, dude, we can't. Like,
Mhm.
and look what happens. He gets captured because he passed out, but at least he tried, right off the bat, saying no, he ain't gonna go down without a damn fight. Even though he has all the disadvantages going for him, he still does it anyway. And the fact that he at least tried
That
picking
is a
them
man
early.
right there. He
Yep.
kicks
Well,
ass
he's a
and takes
hero.
names.
He only got
Look at
taken
that
down because he got hit by a
shot.
car.
Dude,
He only got taken
look
down
at
because he
that
got hit by
shot.
a
Look
car.
at the slicing. That gun
Dude,
may
that's so
not look
gnarly.
like that. That's not your average laser gun. That thing slices you, bro. That thing slices you.
That way,
damn.
that makes way more sense that you will think. If it's a laser, it's light speed. So basically, there's no delay. There's not that sensation that you will normally will have when you fire something. That there's a small delay between you firing and it hitting. Here, there's nothing. There's imperceptible speed between you pressing the trigger and the light going. So any movement that you do while you are pressing, the light is still going. Any angle, any movement that you do will be basically the trajectory of the light slicing. So you can angulate and you can slice and dice, and it will be perfectly seared. Yep. That's a really nice pistol. I want one.
Dude, it
Don't
looks
we all?
cool. It looks damn
Everyone
cool. And
wants
seeing
one.
him, oh man. I remember, I can't
Dude, I love
remember if it was
Double
Star Wars or
fisting.
some other major IP where they're saying no one wants to see an old guy in action. I'm like, they dismiss, once again, history dismissing that a lot of people loved Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope, and he was
Oh
old.
no,
and
everyone
people
loves to
still
watch
root
the
for him.
old badass who has more experience than the main hero.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
that and sort of the old hero going back for like one last round is it's a very Western trope we absolutely love.
And you have to
Yeah.
admit, there's
And
something
anime's done
magical
pretty great, too.
about there's something magical about seeing somebody that knows his craft perfectly, that has been doing it and has it completely mastered doing his stuff. So getting an old master to
Pablo.
do anything is beautiful.
Pablo, speaking of that, you ever seen the Jiraiya Payne arc where he literally just infiltrates the village ninja master style? That was beautifully done.
Yes. Oh, Jiraiya is a really interesting character. One day we have to talk about him.
Oh,
Okay.
so true.
Yeah, but no, this is that sensation of enjoying seeing somebody that knows how to do shit.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is
and that's
magic.
one
Yeah,
of the things.
this is a great example. When you have an old character hero come back, do not show him get beaten up. Do not show him getting treated like trash. He has experience. He's faced hell and back. He should be prepared for anything, no matter his age.
Or you can go in another route. You can go like Rocky. When you see Rocky after his retirement, he's beat up. He lost a lot of muscle, but then you see him training and coming back again to his shape, and you see him progressing and becoming the hero that you remember. That also is uplifting. That sensation of seeing somebody that is past his prime becoming again that man is really
Goliath.
really cool. It gives you chills when it's well done.
Well, and one of the things too is like one of the reasons why we don't get stories like this in the modern era is because the people don't respect their elders. Like this is a story that's
no.
clearly written by somebody who respects their elders and understands that, yeah, they are very
Yes.
knowledgeable, they are very wise, and they have a lot of things to bring to the table. And this is something that just absolutely respects the hell out of that. I love that aspect of this.
Yes, but I think it's also
Hey,
The
Fonzie.
Fonz.
Going
But-
on a
God,
Fonzie
this
look,
guy.
by the way.
so real quick to
Alien
kind of
Fonz.
bounce off you, Jesse. It's more so a lot of the modern creatives, quote unquote, are always trying to think about like beyond the medium they're working with, and so you often see this idea that they think they're going to go out and inspire the next generation of people, that they think they're going to, you know,
Oh, God,
achieve
no.
this greatness with beyond what they're working with. When it's like you're doing a 6-episode TV series among thousands of others.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've been around a lot of kids in most of my work, and not a lot of them are inspired by any of the new stuff. It's mostly old
Nope.
stuff they go around.
There's
Because
one
there's
thing.
nothing there to get inspired by.
Yeah,
There's really not. It's
there's
not about
another
being a
thing
hero.
about what Ironcaster was saying, that there's this how do I say it? There's this mixing and matching of styles when these new authors come and try to reinvent. What
Subvert.
they are doing is importing other ideas. But when you have tropes from different cultures, they don't really gel together unless you do a lot of work. And
Exactly.
that
And they
is,
don't like doing the work.
yeah, that's really difficult to manage because some of the properties from the old men from Japanese culture, for example, will not gel really on America, because having the old man that is still virile, has still a lot of testosterone, has still that manliness, exactly like Jiraiya Sensei, or if you have another character like Master Haposai on Rama One Half, that is a pervert.
Mhm.
Is a pervert, but is old. When you are old, normally you lose all sexual drive. So being still interested, being actually horny, is an important thing about getting old. Means you are powerful. Means you are a real man. That doesn't
Yeah, plus
chill
the
in
majority of the
America.
times there's a reason why they're horny. Sometimes to
Yeah,
hide the
Well,
depression of reality
yeah.
and who they are from within.
it's there's a lot of puritanism in America that will not allow you to see a literally horny old man. But
Hey, for
in
Christ's sakes,
America,
you can in today's America, you can't literally even see a teenager whistle at a girl or be interested in a
Yeah.
chick without having a bunch of guys demonizing that.
but in America, you have something that is from European culture, that is being a gentleman. So instead, you have the old man that is still strong, but he is a gentleman. He is a proper man. So those two don't gel together. You cannot mix them.
Yeah.
That's the
And
issue.
talking about the subversionable things about this, this guy, McQueen, look, we have not needed to see his origin story or learn what makes him tick. You just do the story of yours. I'm so freaking tired of having that goddamn thing, freaking origin story and subversion and what makes them tick. I'm so tired of that. I just want kick-ass heroes. God
We just need to
damn
know
it,
that
I
he's
feel
a
like
hero.
I'm gonna break.
Well, just remember, Duke McQueen's still alive despite being captured. He's still alive, and this is a very. This is another chilling moment.
Perfect timing.
Duke,
for what
no.
happened.
Okay, who did that?
It's okay. And welcome, CJP. I had him on Toxic Tuesday a few nights ago, talking Con Air. Great hanging with you, buddy. Nice to see you drop in. And it's a little late,
the memes.
but shout out to Death Volume Dealer. What's up, Volume Dealer? And Cliff on Comics. I've not seen you on here before, but welcome to the show. Says, I love that I stumbled right in here and we're talking pervy old man and how that doesn't translate well to Americans. It never does. It's a no-win scenario. But to be fair, I don't think no one's trying to either. But anyways, going forward, because this is when you know the seriousness of a dictatorship, because you get these people who were civilians, they didn't get involved in the way Duke McQueen did. They just stood there and cheered, and still they were made basically. I guess you could say they were kind of made as a almost like a political example. What happens when you mess with an authoritarian regime?
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
welcome
he
to Latin
specifically-
America.
just for cheering. That is so crazy. And
Yeah,
messed
he
up.
specifically
We have
he
experience on
specifically says throughout this entire story, we're using you as an example. We're making you an example. So that way nobody else tries this. So nobody else thinks this. Yeah, he's straight up
No one
evil.
else can
But before we
speak
get too
against
far,
me. No
though-
one else can rise. No one else can have hope.
That was the
Go ahead,
60s for
Common.
us.
All I was going to say was before we get too far, can we just go back and remember all the toxicity that was on that last page back there, a couple of
Yes.
pages back? I mean, everybody's getting all cranky about all the modern stuff. Can we go back and enjoy the toxicity of this beautiful thing for a second and stop getting all down about modern stuff?
Even
'Cause this
before,
stuff-
when they are explaining
Ooh,
how
yeah, the
the-
one right before this. Yeah, the one
Yeah,
right
when
before
they
Well,
are
this.
actually-
talking about society and they talk about what women are doing now for money, that panel was really, really
Yeah,
well
we saw a
drawn.
hooker a couple of scenes back,
Exactly.
didn't we?
Well,
Yep.
yeah, that one. But I was just talking about the one where they were basically having an orgy in that room in
Oh, the
last one.
babes make it going for the belly. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, to take advantage
right.
of that panel that was there just now,
Yes.
it's raining men.
It's
Oh,
good.
he
God
has
damn
his
Yes,
own
very
cousin
toxic
Barney.
outfit. That's right, Uncommon Sense. Very toxic outfit. I don't think. Can you even qualify that as an outfit?
You know,
I'm not
Common, I
sure.
think you could kill it with that look.
Well, depending on the laws of your country, you may.
Valid point.
And here we are. Duke, once again, he's being put on display of, once again, this is what happens when you mess with an establishment system, when you try to mess with authoritarianism, dictatorship. And once again, another lesson of what happens when you are very distant and soft and you put your guard down. There's always something that come in there and take over. It doesn't mean that you get to just, start up and be the authority. It's just, you should always have that backup plan, because it's not and this is something this becomes a very misunderstood when people talk about why they are, I guess you could say they carry, and it does relate to the story, because people are like, oh, it's about, in case I have to keep the government in check, and people try using the counter argument, it doesn't matter, the government gets all their tanks and stuff, so either way you're dead. Yeah, that part is all true, but it shows there's a leaving out of a very certain part. It's not about the one guy. It's supposed to be about the people keeping the system in check, not about one guy owning weaponry in case something bad happens. It takes an actual, a village of people to actually all work together to agree, yes, we need to make sure that this system works in our favor, and it's supposed to literally be we the people, not we the system. And this is what happens when you do. This guy was being used as an example of what happens when you mess with them. So yeah, don't ever let your guard down. I feel like this story does give that, and we get a great.
And I gotta say with all my heart, in many years, this is the first female character that I actually like. Yes, Frederick the Ice Wolf enjoyed a female character.
Female Han
Badass female
Solo?
character. Call
Yes.
the media.
I
All
like
right.
it, female Han Solo a lot.
No,
Yeah,
it's
she was great.
it's a killer look, and she is also very
She's a
encouraging
badass.
too. Yeah,
Yes.
Tilda Star is is a good written female character. I strongly agree. It's
I
a
like
it's
her.
a cool ending. It actually feels like, and dude, you can't tell me that's not a Han Solo thing.
Oh yeah,
with the
I'm
pants.
right down to
Oh,
the
it definitely
pants,
is
man.
Han
Look at the
Solo.
pants.
Yeah.
The freaking blazer over the
Absolute-
shirt. Come
yeah.
on.
All right, Fenrir, you said you have to go.
This- Oh yeah, I gotta go. There's certain things I need to take care of. But you know who I am?
Use
Better
rubber.
the Ice Wolf. Go to my channel, make me grow, despite the fact that I don't do crap. Again, I am very lazy. And I need an incentive to actually do work. So maybe get me to about 300 and maybe I'll do something, or maybe not. Either way, I gotta go. So to all you, I wish a good time, good fun time. Common Nerd, you're still on my list. I remember what you did, man. You stole my turkey sub. I am going after your ass for that.
Hey, I'm putting your links in the chat. Don't start with me.
Take care, brother.
Yeah,
Take care,
peace to you
Fenrir.
guys.
Thanks for
Stay
being here.
steady. Always a pleasure, Nick. Peace
Appreciate it.
and bye.
And Caster, you got to go
See you,
too.
buddy.
Yeah, I should probably use this as a moment to get for my out.
All right,
Oh,
go ahead and
no.
plug your channel.
Believe it or not, I've actually been making the odd video here or there. I put something out a couple of days ago about One Piece, the Netflix live action adaptation, just sort of before the series comes out. Anyway, so I will be on tomorrow with Brandon the Anime Guy for a live panel to sit and discuss our thoughts on the series so far.
Ooh.
Nice.
And I gotta tell you guys, from what I've seen so far, I like it. It's a good.
Hey, Ironcaster, before you leave, what are you doing next Wednesday around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time?
I should be free.
I'm going to binge One Piece tomorrow, and so we're going to
Yes.
have some people on next Wednesday to talk about it. Figured you'd
'Cause
have fun.
that-
I figured you'd have fun on that one.
Oh yeah, I think it's a even if they don't want to do a second season, this is still going to be, I think, a good way for some people to get into this show.
Well, and they've got the first 12 volumes of the manga online for free right now too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
Nice.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Guys,
I mean,
go ahead.
with
Fish.
just with all of the Hollywood strike going on, the Hollywood writer strikes going on, Hollywood's not doing anything. There's 1,000 episodes of One Piece you can go like binge.
Yeah,
And if-
no, you're
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Caster,
I mean,
it's been great. Go ahead, Fish. Yeah, go ahead, Fish.
tomorrow I'll be on with T-shirt historian for the Week in Geek, where we will be talking about whatever Wizards of the Coast got into this weekend. Oh, by the way, apparently Wizards of the Coast has decided the word tribal is offensive.
God
Of course
damn
it
it.
is.
Tribal decks were my favorite.
Okay,
And-
whatever.
And I say this as a tribal Indian. Like, what? And then, of course,
Oh,
tomorrow
like
night.
ham horn.
Tomorrow night,
Go ahead.
our fuzzy friends,
Oh yeah, nice.
the Cotton Council. Bye.
I like it,
We go.
dude.
Yeah. All right, we'll go.
I love it.
Ironcaster.
That's freaking awesome. Take care, Caster. Thanks for
Take
being
care,
here.
brother.
And thank you for subscribing, Cliff
All right,
on
bud.
Comics. I do see you there, sir. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Let's get back to our screen. Yes. Tilda Star, great cliffhanger. And yeah, this is once again, this is what happens when you actually buy and believe something. It's an actual character. So
Yep.
let's get to issue 4, and this is where we have Travis Charest with a great cover, and also,
Nice.
folks,
$2.99.
about $1 to $2 less. Yeah, $2.99 for this issue back in 2014. Because I looked into it, and the first 4 issues, 1 through 4, were released within 4 months. 1 through 4, all in 4 months. And
Nice.
then issue 5 was 2 months later, with issue 6 being another 2 months later.
The covers have been just incredible up to this one. I think I cannot pick. I cannot pick my favorite one. It's just that good, and every single issue has
Yeah.
these covers. Man, is
Yeah, they're really, really good. I love that sword
Yeah.
too. Gives it a nice little pirate kind of swashbuckling feel.
It does. He kind of looks like Clint Eastwood in that shot. I wonder because when in that interview Mark was talking about space Buzz Lightyear and Unforgiven, and Travis looks like he is trying to do a Clint Eastwood almost type of face there.
Sure,
I
can
looked at him
totally
like,
see
yeah,
that.
I could totally see the Clint Eastwood. And I feel like if you had to, I feel like he would be good if he did a voice actor for Duke McQueen. Because
Yes,
his voice
I could
has not
see
really
that.
changed in the last 30, 40 years, even though obviously he's up there in age. But I feel like as far as his voice wise, he would nail this character as far as being a voice actor if he was willing to do that, of course.
Who's
Just
that? Which
would
one? Who?
absolutely I'm sorry?
Who?
Clint Eastwood, if he was Duke McQueen in an animation adaptation, I think
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
be good with the voice.
Maybe.
I
What do
think
you got, Bobby?
I think in a real film, I might think of actually Josh Brolin as Duke.
Yes. Yes, there you go. That's what I was just thinking. I was just thinking the same thing. Yes, because I like Josh Brolin's voice a lot more for something like this. That kind of no nonsense, kind of like shut up.
They got to play it exactly like the comic and stay away from modern day BS. The play him like the great hero that he is, and the good guy that he is. That's the best. Right now, that is the most charming thing about this book, and they never change. You know, it was what maintains. It's so good about this book.
You're 100% spot on. And even when he's locked up in jail too, he's still trying to be the hero. He's still trying to be the good guy. You know, and I love how even he kind of like loses confidence and like everybody in the room's like, no, dude, you can do it. Yada, yada, yada. You always find a way out. You know? So, and then oh God, that's some great foreshadowing right there too.
Yep.
Oh, that is one of the sweetest ends ever. Like, oh God, that was so good. We'll get to it.
No, hey, we're getting to it now. It's once again another scene that flows well with the movement of where the bodies are moving and the whole flashback. And yeah, that's what happened, with my parents and the coin. So you're getting hints at what's alluded to this kid's technically his origin story as well. Even though this is clearly Duke McQueen's story, there is definitely a good supporting size role to a point where it's almost a co-main star with this kid. And you know what? I think it works. I think it works very well.
Yeah, Space Boy is great. I love it. He's great.
Claudia, anything you want to add?
No. I'm good.
I love that we jump right to jetpacks too. I just love the jetpack aspect.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, here's a jetpack. Dope. We're flying in jetpacks. This is awesome.
And that's how it should be.
I want my jetpack.
How it should be.
The past promised me all portable jetpacks. I want my portable jetpack, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I was muted. There's a couple of panels that feel anime.
Go back more.
Previous panel, previous page. There's a couple of panels that really this one and the jetpack one. No, the way that the mouth is drawn and everything, it really feels anime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when they burst into the room with the jetpack, also the drawing of the suits and everything, it really feels anime. So you can feel the inspiration, but instead of deforming everything, there's just this knot, and that's it. They don't need to really transform the art. They just have this small detail. That's it, and that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You're spot on that one, Pablo. That's freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
I love the design of that villain too. Like, he is just so ugly and so nasty. Like, he looks like the guy that would torture and just do whatever the boss told you. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
He's a very hideous looking dude. You're like, wow, you are hard to have a conversation with just by looking and making eye contact with you, bro. Get out of my way.
Like, don't you have like a dermatologist on your home planet? Isn't there something you can do about that?
You are one ugly motherfucker.
Exactly.
Oh, Pablo. Dude, a great Duke situation right here, right off the bat. He gets the kid and then he lets him go so he can take care of the guy, and then boom, levels him against the wall, dude. Oh, I love seeing that. He's like, I love I'm not gonna mess around with these guys. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take care of it right now.
And I love how they're like, come back here, alien, because he's the alien on the planet by definition. Like, I thought that was really funny because that's so awkward for us to hear.
Oh, I know, right? I know. Man.
Obey.
This is some They Live type of shit right here. That is some straight up They Live with the obey. I'm like, no, bro. No.
That would make for a great t-shirt.
No, I like this one from Tilda. If anything, I'd say it's probably my favorite moment of Tilda's in this story, because the fact that she, was able to use this and get out, and then she shot bullets just so the thing could open back up and shoot the guys. I was like, damn, that's cool.
That was awesome. And she's still got sex appeal too, right? You can tell she's a total badass, but even with her laying in that grass, she's still got the appeal, and that's awesome. It's totally believable. That's the cool part, because she's got a jetpack, she's got a fancy blaster, she was a guard, she's been trained, so it's not like over the top at all. It's right where you need to be. And this scene is just so tragic. I miss the Giants. I want the Giants back. It's so sad.
And then this is sad too.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
The Battlestar Galactica ships back there, and
Slave One.
Yeah.
Slave One.
Oh yes.
You have an
Oh,
Jedi
you're
Starfighter.
right. It
Jedi
is
Starfighter.
Slave One. Oh, dude, that once again, Mark lets his influences just
Is that the
creepy
Futurama
crawl their
ship?
way. What?
Hey, what were the?
Oh, the Planet Express.
next to the Slave One, maybe? I can't tell.
No, it's not the Planet Express ship.
Actually, kind of looks like something from Capsule Corp, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
Hey, what were those, Clobby? What were those fighters called in Battlestar Galactica? I can't remember now.
Vipers.
Vipers. That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, that's totally
We
spot
got
on.
the
I love
vote from both shows on that one. That's weird.
I bet. That's wild. That's awesome.
I love that there's even saucers. They're round things.
The rivet. Oh, yeah, the propose.
So we have a great conversation here with Tilda and Duke. And like any good hero, they truly believe that even if it was a situation they cannot control, literally, they still feel like they need to blame themselves for it because they don't like how failure affects others. It's one thing when it's their own personal failure, but when it affects others, yeah, it hits you. It really does. I can see why that hit Tilda. She's like, we lost our leader. Yeah, this is nuts. This whole game, the system is rigged. And luckily she's got a guy like Duke around because they say, okay, yeah, sure, you may be old, but you have experience. You are a legend in our eyes. And experience does compensate for a lot of things. Even if you are a little rusty at times, that experience maybe could pick up on certain things a bit better to adjust to your age point.
Well, and muscle memory is one of those things that never truly goes away, right? Like your ability to do it again or as good as what you used to be might not be there anymore, but he's got a lot of muscle memory from all those fights, so it's totally believable that he could pop back in like this. I love it.
Pablo, anything you want to add to this issue? And then I'll have Clobby go.
Yeah, there's a bit of maybe he will be a rusty man. He will not be able to do everything he does, but experience gives you a strategy. So there's another side of fights that when he was young, maybe he didn't have enough. He had training as a soldier and everything, but no, if you think about it, he's basically winning with his head. He's no longer just punching his way out of the situation. He's tricking the enemy. That's the way he fights, and that's exactly what you will expect with somebody that has lost strength. But
crap, I never noticed that either before too. Damn, you're right though.
Tell me that's not a Slave Leia costume.
The amount of Star Wars references in this comic book is great.
I love it. That's because this that's one of my favorite things about stories like this. It's a story written by another nerd. You know what I mean? Like it's not. This isn't some uppity creative out there going, "Oh, this is my vision. It's going to be the best thing ever." No, he's like, "No, I'm already a huge nerd of sci-fi. That's why I'm telling stories like this." I love that.
There's a boy.
Go ahead. When he is explaining why nobody believed him, it's really fun. Didn't you see it? Work to explain your situation, and he's like, no, polyester exists in there too, man.
Show don't tell.
No, but that I found that really, really fun because if you think about the sciencey stuff, if you want a material that is hyper resistant, that is really useful for fabrics and everything, a lot of species may end up with polyester. So having something from aliens may not even be recognizable as alien made because the materials
Mhm.
are just too common.
Mhm.
Every single detail when they are explaining things have a sense of, yeah, I can absolutely see that. There's something special about the writing on this comic.
It's because it's got all the right ingredients.
Yeah.
I liken this to having like a good meat lover's pizza. You got your meat, you got more meat, you got cheese, and more cheese. And this stuff goes all out with dudes being awesome and being also a responsible family man at the same time, simultaneously for some. Oh man, such good stuff. Sorry, I had a blank thought, and now, but I
Yeah.
just
By the way,
I love seeing this.
you had me at meat. So
Yeah, good,
no, but
good.
there's
And then we realized
oh, I
Agent
hate
is a
yeah.
mole. I was so pissed at Fonzie for that. I was like, Fonzie,
No, I hated the
no.
revelation itself because it's a character that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
He is the
Yeah.
Earth nerd, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that character being there, even if he was a bit annoying. It was fun, and now he's like, oh god damn it, I have to hate him now.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's how that's the see that that takes a little bit of balls because it's just like, okay, I'm the writer of this. Now I gotta make people not like this character. And that can be tough because especially if the character is still super likable. It kind of reminds me of in WWF. I remember Chris Jericho say when he was on his interview with the Critical Drinker, and he said, you know, being a bad guy in wrestling is tough because he said, especially if you're too good, whether it's like winning matches fair and square, because usually that a heel always cheats to win, but every now and then there's an exception. And then there's the part where you can be almost too good with like your lines, your dialogue, your banter, and people start to catch on and they like it. And he's like, it's tough being that. It's really tough because especially if you're too good, then people end up liking you. And no,
Yeah,
Jericho will never outdo the list. The list was amazing. From Dean Malenko's 1,004 holds, Juventud Guerrero's mask. Dude, the list was such a great part of his character. Such a great part. But we got an issue 5 to get to right now. And, well, once again, another cool cover. And I don't know who did. No, I'm going to have to look this one up. I don't know who did this cover. Oh, it was Tommy Lee Edwards. He did this cover.
it's
And I'd say this.
absolutely beautiful, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. I love this shot here. Yep. And yes,
That one
Rob
is
Liefeld did contribute to Starlight. He did contribute to Mark Millar Story. And he did draw feet. Yes, he drew feet. Believe it or not. But dude, it's once again, it's so crazy how you can take an image that's so colorful and clean and just very bright world, and yet you can make everything look so terrible, even though it's such a bright world.
yeah,
This
this
panel really sums it up.
is direct, is grotesque,
Mm-hmm.
is really poignant because the perspective of everything is so earthly. You see the police, you see the emergency services and everything, but in the back, you know that a lot of those people will not go to the hospital, will go to the pit because they said something that the government didn't like, or they did absolutely anything on, or they were dressed the wrong way. So yeah, you see that there's a system that is supposed to work for the people in this planet, and you know that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing the corpses and seeing the way that they are being tended to is absolutely meaningless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the fun part.
Yeah,
Man.
These
Drugs are
issues
bad,
heavy, man.
kids. Drugs are bad. And this is where you learn of the Moore families. Well, the origin story for their son, Mr. Spaceboy, because obviously they were working in the medical field and they needed to try to save one of the bad guys' lives. And they were like, hey, the damage here cannot be undone. This is too much. And they still wouldn't take no for an answer. And unfortunately, she got blasted. He got blasted. And our boy here, as an actual space boy, yeah, dude, what a right off the bat, what a premise. Is like,
Again,
okay, I'm not letting this go, and I'm gonna
yeah,
remember that's not just passion and anger. That's on who understands the gravity of the situation and the fact that, especially now taking on a dictatorship and similar people are involved. Yeah, I'd say this fight is not just important, but it's also very personal for Space Boy. It's very personal
yeah.
as well. It's not just
But
about the fate of the world
mhm,
hanging balance, but it's also, this is a personal thing for him.
it gives you a larger scope also because of
Mhm.
everything you are seeing. Is not only a revenge for a space boy, is not only the adventure of a hero becoming a hero again, is the survival of basically everybody in the planet that is not a complete monster. So the scope changes a lot. You have medics that have helped people, that have saved somebody, and they just are doing their job. They are doing
Mhm.
what we believe in our culture that is morally right, and they just get killed there. But because the order is just them, the kid
Mhm.
gets to live. But that's absolutely monstrous. That's terrible beyond belief. So whatever they do to save that society is justified, is necessary. So
Common
it
nerd, you brought up a great point about the whole thing with one world, the teenagers are trash, and on this world, teenagers like over the moon. And you get a great example of that when he mentions, yeah, the kids weren't into being with their dad, but he's so happy he's got
yeah.
this kid who can hang out with and spend time and say, yeah, I'll show you the ropes. Once again, tropes. I don't know if it would happen now. If it did, it would have to be under
Mhm.
some really rare circumstances. But this is the types of moments to me that really, really matter, because he's trying to build the kid up, and yet that kid was there for him because he convinced him to come out of retirement. So this is kind of a mutual thing. This isn't just one person using the other just to reclaim the world. This is big for both of them because they have a common goal. One is wants to get his world back. The other wants to, well, he feel like he's lived again one last time. And together they share a common enemy. This isn't the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This guy's my friend. We all loved what he did, and we have not forgotten, and we're still gonna go to him. And I love that dude came out of retirement for this. And he's, even though this is not his son, he does give hints at, no, he obviously has attachments towards him, almost like a son figure, if you will. We'll just say son figure because I don't know the proper terminology, since I know father figure is the thing, but I've never heard of son. Oh, hey, is that a totally another Star Wars reference right there? You tell me, guys.
Dude, that looks
Tell
like an
me.
X-wing.
Just say, yeah. No, it totally does. But
That's
it's
awesome. And those
killer.
engines actually kind of look like some of the ones off the pod racers in the episode 1.
Okay, I
Mhm.
have to say it. Female Han Solo is a bit flat, but her hips
She got
kinda
hips.
make it way better. She has a Latino shape, if you understand what I mean.
Oh yeah, them hips don't
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Wow. And she has her own name, Tilda Star. Imagine that. They created an original character with her type of background, and it's an original character. Wasn't someone who they just needed to do a pointless race swap just to keep it going. This is no. This character actually has a purpose in the story. She's not there just to, well, check the box, as they like to say. She definitely has an important part of the story. And yeah, you get your setup and payoff with her, along with Dukes as well.
But
And this is some. Go ahead.
I noticed something. The belt, perfectly done for a Han Solo cosplay. In the previous panel, when you see her in a position where you can see the belt
Mhm.
buckle, and everything, perfectly done. So yeah, she's basically Han Solo. She's absolutely Han Solo.
Oh, exactly. Uncommon sense. Spot on.
And this is the mental state of mind coming back to our boy, Duke McQueen. Because now that he's into the thick of it, even if he does feel some hurt, it's that I remember what this is like. And just like that, I've got the adrenaline kick back into me.
Right.
And that actually is a believable scenario because some people can be away from something for a few years, a decade, 2 decades. If they slide right back in and say, hey, just give me 5 minutes and whatever it is that they're doing, and they make it happen, dude. That's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. I love seeing that.
yeah.
The fact that he's like, yeah, you're making me feel young again. I love seeing that. And, well, then there's tragedy with our green guy here. What
And
an
this-
asshole. Go ahead.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like, what a dick. This guy's like, hey, I'm going to show you this
Yeah.
really cool thing. And this was before we find out that he really wasn't into like ancient Earth culture or anything like that either. So it's like, oh, I thought this was going to be one of them situations where he's going to be the bad guy and feel bad about being the bad guy because this guy's showing him this really cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh no. Turns out he's just a straight asshole. No, he's just straight asshole, 100%. So yeah. But I love that car. Oh god.
Oh, I know, right?
And they use it really, really well later.
Perfect foreshadowing, one would almost say.
Foreshadowing. Yeah. All
Like
right.
an alien kids.
Yeah, like an alien kids. I like how the car is stick shift. Obviously,
Oh,
for
yeah.
gearheads, it's just like hell yeah. Even though you don't like this guy here, you're like, all right, at least he drives a nice car. And
I mean,
boy,
is there
does
any
he
other
ever.
kind of transmission, Nick? I mean, come on, really. Automatics for all of us with kids.
Oh no, dude. Oh man. Now, automatic is one of the worst things to work on, and I honestly should have not passed that class. I should have been given an F. I'm shocked that I got a D minus. I think that was a few sympathy points my way. I truly believe that. Once again, I'll probably never be able to prove it, but I truly believe I was nothing more than I was hired for that specific purpose. And our boy Fonzie here, freaking ruining the moment for the Resistance.
Oh, dude, gassing everybody. What a douchebag. I love the stormtroopers, though, that they've all got their helmets, too.
Yeah.
I love that. Right back to the bubblehead. Straight out of the old classic sci-fi stuff. I love it. And yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm just going to blast you all in the head. You guys thought you had the drop on me. No. I have the drop on you. You guys need more men. Call in reinforcements. You're screwed. And he just goes through and just lays waste to them. And I loved it. I love that kind of scene going through stuff like that. And it's believable too, because of all the gas, right? So it's not like some Keanu Reeves Matrix, the one thing where he's going in there and doing all kinds of stuff. No, it's just a strategically military-minded, buff old dude with a lot of experience who's taking advantage of his situation. There's a bunch of smoke in the room. Guess what? You can't see me, but I know exactly where all of you are, and I'm just going to shoot y'all in the head. So I love that.
Check the private chat really quick. You and Pablo.
We got you. We got it. No problem. Yeah. So I love this stuff. This was such a fun scene, seeing the old man come out of retirement, just really kick ass. And one of my favorite parts about this too was how he inspired so many other people. Everybody's like, as soon as he's there, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm making Warhammer 40K references. But there's part of the tabletop is when you have like a lieutenant or you have like some kind of like named figure on it automatically buffs like your entire army. And that's exactly what he is. He comes in there as the legend, as the hero, as the guy that's done it all, seen it all, and that automatically raises everybody. Like everybody's already at like a 10. Now they're at like an 11 because now he's there. The legend is there. I love that.
Nice.
Well, it's a basic psychology that you have seen throughout history all the time. People think that they are defeated because they have nobody to see that is doing the contrary, that is still fighting. If nobody else is fighting, then I'm fighting alone. But you see just one person, and that becomes the hero, that becomes the martyr, the
I love
person
that.
that stands in front of the army, and that's exactly
Mhm.
what they need. And that pays off later, even.
And
Yeah.
I love this scene right here too, because you're like, oh, like he just kicked the crap out of everybody, and he walks out there and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you're like,
yeah.
"Ah, this is bad. This is really bad. I gotta get out of here." Like
And
literally an
that
entire army.
no,
Yeah,
but
oh
it
crap.
looks. I love seeing this, and he gets out of it. That's the beauty of it. He gets into a trap, and this is once again why I buy these villains. Not looking for the buys. Villains are so full of
Arrogant.
themselves that they think that, oh hey, he's old. Of course,
Uh-huh.
those creatures are gonna try to eat him up alive. They don't think, oh, what this guy bounces back. That's a villain who has his head up his ass, and you know what? I'm fine with villains having that. That's what makes a villain the villain. It's like, yeah, they could have stuck around, but to them, villains are so confident that they kind of are their own worst enemy in some ways when they just give themselves the benefit of the doubt of, oh, he's finished. Only to find out, no, he's actually not.
Yeah,
And now
Yeah,
you just
it's
freaking pissed off the beast, and you
but
didn't realize
tech
what
yeah,
you just set
it's
up.
technically
their
is there's something. The aliens came after he left that planet, so the invaders, the conquerors, however you want to call them, they don't really know his legend. They don't really know what he's capable of, so they don't fear him correctly.
Yep.
The other
they underestimate
people,
him.
yeah, they celebrate the legend, so obviously they know, or at least believe, that he can do amazing stuff. But the bad guys don't really know shit about him, so
Yep.
they underestimate him.
Well, and it's always the arrogance of villains, right? Like
Yep.
that's always the mark of a truly good villain is he's so arrogant. He thinks he's smartest, bestest, fastest thing in the world, and he can outsmart everybody, and he automatically knows. He's always so confident, and it's not a good confidence, it's an arrogance. He's always so arrogant about knowing that he's always right, and every decision he knows is right. And his conclusion that, yeah, of course the guy's dead. Nobody gets out of that. Nobody survives that. It's impossible. You know what I mean? Of course I'm right. And nope. And I love the creature from the Black Lagoon vibes that we get from those guys too. Hey, look what
Oh, I
Darcy
know, right? Oh, bastard.
sees.
I
Yeah.
actually thought she was Tilda was gonna die right here. I actually thought she was.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you feel that way, especially with the guy's Darth Vader-esque powers. Oh man, she's done. This is it. I was like, oh wow. I
There
could
you
see
go.
so, and then look at, hey, just remember this, chat. All these swords up here, and this is once again another cocky villain. What happens if this goes against me? They aren't capable of thinking like that, and I will be showing this off inevitably because just to show people once again where the intelligence is actually at with these loony goons.
Pride before
Damn
the fall.
fucking loonies. Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, there is definitely what, at least to me, I feel like there's definitely a little bit variation of all the seven deadly sins. Except usually when stories like that happen, usually done with one or two characters, but this kind of feels like everything is around, well, these dictators. Everything really feels like it's about them as far as the subscription goes. They don't like this guy, and rightfully so. You don't want to be rooting for the bad guy. A bad guy you're supposed to hate and not wish death on him, because obviously at the end of the day, he's an actor playing a character. But you want to believe that, oh crap, this guy truly is ruthless. Is someone actually going to do something about that? And it took a bit of time, but now we have people, and we got obviously I was gonna mention Bonnie and Comics, stuff like that. John Della Rose. all telling the truth, the good news, unlike these guys
Yes.
who are spreading information to not resist against their tyranny.
I love
All
how
right.
she just spits in his face too. She's just like,
Oh, I know.
like, oh yeah, go girl. Like it wasn't one of those scenes where she like breaks out of the handcuffs and then kicks everybody's butt in the room. No, she's just defiant. She's just absolutely defiant. And I love it.
What does she have to lose?
Right?
Nothing.
Right? Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
If you're
Better to die on your
facing
feet than
death
live on
by
your
God,
knees.
yeah, if you're facing death by God, the least you can do is spit on his face, man. Whatever.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
I regret
Kingfisher
that I have
out.
but one life.
You messed with the
I love
wrong
that
one,
scene.
dude.
Like I was saying, Space Boy. I love that. Like I was
Yes,
saying, Space Boy.
anti-propaganda. You get it, volume
Yes.
dealer. I won't let you down, and that is a
That's
great
right.
setup.
Dude, that
as
is so great.
the penultimate, the pride
That-
before the fall. The pride before the fall. Yes, that is exactly what's happening because issue number 6, and once again, John
Mhm.
Cassaday returns with a cover. Good to see him
so
coming
good.
back around. And dude, yeah, this issue, this is definitely where it really ramps up. And oh boy,
Yeah.
does it come out swinging. Also, too, 1 through 5 were all $2.99. This issue was, well, it actually merited $5 because there was that many more extra pages. This wasn't like 2 extra pages. This is like 10 or more extra pages. As a story should like be when you charge more and you actually give a lot more content for your money's worth. No? Yeah. No.
Yes. No, I
you're
completely
absolutely
agree
right,
with you.
bud.
This is the kind of thing. Yeah. You are
I
getting your
was
money's worth in this
muted.
sense.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Again, Pablo.
Clubby, why don't you add something
The pit
to
of
this
vanquished.
moment?
Well, this was a spectacular finish. This episode, it's been so long since I've read this thing that I had to go back and backtrack a lot of it, and reread the first few issues, and then wasn't able to read some of those ones in the middle. So you guys helped me catch up on a lot of it. And of course, I've been sitting there reading it with you as you've been flipping it and everything. This was I kept, because it's Millar, I kept expecting to let's put it this way. For him to be that guy that when he holds out the hands of friendship, watch his other hand, because that's the one with the hammer.
Yeah, you're right.
He's that kind of guy. I always thought as a comic book writer. So I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna have to do something to just bum me out, because this thing, I mean, look, there's a lot of sad and terrible things happening in this, and the advantage he's making it still something of a fun romp because of this character, because of Duke and some of his supporting characters. I mean, you can do that. You can strike that balance if you're a good writer, and he has been a good writer at times. But I was expecting him to just have some kind of an all-out bloodbath or whatever, and he really surprised me with this one. So I'll simply say that this is one I want to go back and fully reread again, and it's especially the last half of this book are really entertaining and fun.
Oh, is it ever fun? And what's up, 70s? TZ Burton, Raisy Fingers. I see you guys.
70s.
Volume Dealer says, I have not heard of Dead Sky Publishing. Do inform me. I love that he goes down to the pit and goes through all the dead bodies. Like, dude, I'm sure they smell bad. I'm sure they feel weird. I'm sure some of them decompose. And he will do whatever it takes, even go through a pile of dead bodies to get the transmission from the guy who got, well, as I like to say, bent backwards and broken. I was like, that you are a brave son of a bitch. So go in a pit of dead bodies
Dude, I
to
love
reclaim that thing. Oh, I know.
Oh.
And then he thanks the queen who passed on because her statue is what kept him there. Because you're thinking, hold on, where's the rope? This is convenient. Like, oh, okay. The princess, that's what she's held up to. And he of course arrives to the party at the what I call the Roman Colosseum equivalent. he arrives in old school fashion in that car. I was like, that's such a Ric Flair thing to do. He came in high style and profiling and said, hey, listen, guys, we can make a difference. And all it takes is one man with strong words of conviction to tell an entire area, we can turn this around. We may be very far gone, but it's not too late. We can do this as soon as now. Let's show them what mass disobedience looks like. And they did. They straight up did. And once again, that the castle without doors, yeah, that didn't sound so good now, did it? Did that, bro teens? Did that? I'd like to hear from you guys on that, because clearly it did not work.
Well, again, this is full circle. Basically, this society becomes soft and decided that maybe we just don't want to have wars. And then came a species that is like, well, we do. So guess what? And that species is like, well, we will win any war. Well, guess what? I love when the circle is complete. It's exactly the same. Is either you become a pacifist or you don't understand that anybody with a knife can cut your throat. It's that simple. You believe that you can defeat them. You believe that you can kill them. You believe that there's a way to stop any threat. What if not?
Dude, and I love this scene right here too, with him just
This
calling
is a
out to the
Captain America
people.
like speech. Carry on,
Oh
Tom.
yeah, no, so that's a spot on. This kind of reminded me like of a V for Vendetta kind of speech, except instead of like
Yeah.
blaming everybody and kind of like telling them, like, look, we got this. I'm here. You know my history. You know what I have done in the past. Join me and we can do this. We can win this. We outnumber them by a crap ton. And just gave me the chills. I was like, yes. And then like that moment where he's standing there and he's just like waiting for he's talking to the bad guy. He's like, what did you think that was going to do? You think they're all just going to rally? These people are sheep. They're nothing. They're weak. They're easily controlled. They're never going to rally. And he's like, you clearly don't know who I am.
Nope. And once again, that brings it back. I'm glad you brought that up, because that once again brings it back to the villains. They get so full of themselves that they don't ever think, hey, what can this guy truly do? Should we take him seriously? Most villains, every now and then you get a Green Goblin who plan ahead, but it's clear that these guys plan for the dictatorship, obviously, because they had planned this because they were a country that's so peaceful that it was easier to invade it within a day, but they didn't think of what could go wrong. This is what happens when villains do that. Villains become self-defeating once again in that respect, because they're like, oh yeah, we got what we wanted. Nothing can ever go wrong now. And then they're going to get a rude awakening of what happens when they don't look into this Duke McQueen. And I could see a villain doing that, not looking into him, because let's say they think, oh, it's okay. We got what we wanted. It doesn't matter now. We don't need to think ahead. And they're seeing what happens when they don't. It backfires in their faces. That is a good setup and payoff. That's what I saw. Great setup and payoff.
I love that. That's so good. But God damn, there was something I was going to say, and now I lost it.
Dude, these words here, because 40 years ago, these people hadn't heard of me. Now they've seen what I can do. Yeah, they're soft and scared and easily pushed around, but they grew up hearing that I never lose. And you feel a little braver when you're standing beside a legend.
Exactly.
As he stands next to a legend of a car.
What?
As he stands next to
words?
I love it. Dude, and yeah, that standing next to a legend of a car just makes that even better. Like I love that. Like, maybe you should have thought about them doors after all, huh, there, buddy?
Look at all those bodies coming down the trail saying, you know what, Duke's right. We can turn this around. Yeah, this is the 0 hour, but we can do this. And oh boy, do they respond in numbers, dude. God, look at I get this is not just like a pit. This is like an avalanche coming down. They got avalanched by this, and I'm here to enjoy the scenery of this. Once again, this is our page where you read the actions because you see everything at stake here. You see the people who are close to Duke McQueen about to get hanged, and the people, the regular common man, are now just as much the resistance as the actual group of the same name.
Yeah. Freaking glorious. Oh, fire. Not a chance. Wow. I love that. I love the look on the face too, because that's exactly what it looks like when you hit somebody and they do like the slow-mo on it. They just drew it perfectly on Homeboy's face when he punches him. I love it. Oh,
Such a
that's just such a
fantastic
great
shot.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic shot. And he gets
I
him
love
up.
that. I love that too. The one guy gets his little ow. Better than being dead, ain't it?
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my bad.
Seize him. You're joking, right? You guys
right?
haven't got a prayer.
Oh,
Man.
No, I love
That
that.
is
metal.
that is confidence. I love his oozing of confidence. I love
Yes.
Duke's confidence.
100%. It's so good. It's so much fun watching a good quality hero just go in there and be like, look, no, I've got this. You might outnumber me, but you need more men. You don't have enough guns for this battle. I'm about to kick the living crap out of all of you. Oh, it's so much fun. And this scene is so good. We'll get back to it. But yeah.
No. Go ahead.
This is so good.
Another setup. Yeah, you're right. I know what you're getting at. The setup and payoff.
Yes, absolutely. It's so good too. And we get ourselves another Darth Vader scene too. If you'll go back one panel, Nick, he blocks the blaster with his hand just like Darth Vader does. See? Yeah, because remember Darth Vader did it with one hand? It's the exact same thing right there again. Yes. I love it. It's so good. But yeah, I love this. I love this whole back and forth throughout the scene. It was so much fun because like the guy, they get all the smoke going in the room and he's still shooting and he's on the ground and you think he's lost. And the guy's like, what are you, blind and senile old man? He's like, nope, just trying to loosen the roof. And do we remember what's on the roof, boys and girls? Does everybody remember what's on that beautiful ceiling? Oh, yes, all of those wonderful, beautiful swords. You love seeing a good villain get their just desserts, man. That is one of the most satisfying things in storytelling.
That's the best part. That's the payoff.
And there's another interpretation. Remember, this is the source from the Vanquished. This is the revenge of the Vanquished.
Yeah. And he's still so cocky at the end, too. He's like, I'll crush your bones and hold those up. He's like, I'll be able to hold those up and then crush your bones. He's like, yeah, but I can't bet you can't do both at the same time.
Yep.
I was right. You like that kind of that not overly done cockiness. It's just like that confidence, like borderline cocky. Like, I know I've got you. So, oh yeah.
I love
such a great finale. Beautiful.
Yes.
Not so tough after all, boy. Aren't ya? Good old
I love
Duke
that too.
McQueen here.
I love his line there too. He's like, 40 years ago, I would have had a really good crack. I would have like a really good joke right here too. He's like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, 40 years ago, I had a really good crack for that. Yeah, I love that. What the hell exactly? Oh, learn how to beg. Yes. So good. The kid gets it.
This is how you write a last issue. You set up all the dominoes in place and you want that last issue to knock it down. And this issue does knock it down. I love that so much. And this is the kid bringing his arc full circle too. I love this.
Everything was in place, man.
Learn to beg. Oh, and then it clicks for the bad guy. It clicks, right? You can just see it in the eyes with the way they draw it. It clicks right there. And he's like, put it there, little man. Oh, I love that. It's so good.
And then the end of the regime. I love seeing that. Yes.
Hey, remember that lovely little
crumbling? Go ahead.
Remember that lovely little, the bad guy, that lovely little space defense thing you said so that you could protect your little worker bees forever? Yes. Yeah, but them worker bees just pushed back and we stung the shit out of your ass.
Oh, Tantalus, yes. Now they have reclaimed Tantalus, and once again brings it back to the first issue. He's going through the same cycle again, and even then, he still doesn't want credit for it. Which this time he kind of puts a little extra into not taking credit because he didn't really want it the first time, but he definitely doesn't want more so the second time. And he's just like, no, you got a good queen here. And to be fair, when the queen got him out of that escape room, it made sense. I could roll with it, I can buy it, and I can feel like this is not just some perfect Mary Sue type of character. She's definitely a character who originally wanted to give it to him. She sees him as the hero, even though she did have her contributions and she deserves her acknowledgement, but she still sees it as him. But he's like, no, I go home, you get to carry the way. That is a transition of power that actually, and respect, I should add on top of it, prosperity, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see,
Uncommon
and no,
sense,
uncommon and Razy, I can hear the final credit music to A New Hope in this scene.
Yep.
That's what I heard. A New Hope.
Yeah, 100% spot on that one. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Like, such a great ending. So much fun. So, do you really need to go? Yeah, I gotta go home and see my kids. They might not want to see me all the time, but yeah, I gotta go see them. So,
And I like it because this feels like right here, if this was like a show, movie, whatever, it feels like this is the part where it ends. And
Right.
then the after credits scene is what happens when he actually goes home. And the fact that he weirds out one of his sons driving through is like, hey, look what I got. And they're like, oh,
yeah,
crap.
the kid.
I
Because
love
it's
the
the kid.
voicemail. Oh,
It's Space Boy.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's like Space Boy. Like, let me give you your final reward because he's like, I got this. I'm gonna call your kids. We're gonna show everything off. We're gonna tell everybody the truth. They're actually gonna know exactly what you did. They're gonna believe you now. And like, it's like Space Boy's final gift to him before he's got to go back. That's like that final thank you. I love it.
Mm-hmm. God, such a cool moment. Daddy, what was that? I think that was your grandpa, honey.
Yes, I love it. I love it. That
Oh,
line.
Yeah, I think it was your grandpa.
oh, so good. Yeah.
Yes, right on the White House
Oh,
lawn, baby.
that is making your presence known. Oh, I love it.
Kid's like, I'm gonna make sure you're a hero here, just like you're a hero on my world. They're gonna know what happened. I love it. Give me a big hug, kid. He's got that grandpa feel, man. He's got such a grandpa feel to him. I love it.
Yeah, he's a good grump.
Damn good man. Yes, John
And
Williams
then-
should do the music.
Oh, yeah, he should have. And now he finally gets to have his dinner, gets to celebrate his wife's life properly. I'm glad I didn't screw those words up. And he finally gets to now get the respect amongst his sons. It is awesome to see. And it feels like every bit of this you weren't Duke. You did this twice. And the second time was as an elderly man. And still
52, right?
you made it happen. That and that is
And I love how considerate he is in that scene too, because the same thing happened when he had the kid, when he had Space Boy sleeping on his couch. He went outside to smoke, whereas in the previous scenes, you'd always seen him smoking in the house, and he even says that specifically. I don't want the kids sucking in these poisonous fumes. Like he understands what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of those like, oh, smoking's cool. He's like, no, it's just a dirty old habit that I got. You know, I love it.
No, he's
I
a
agree.
good man. He's a proper gentleman.
Yeah, 100%.
guys. I wonder if Brian Hitch, when he pitched the name of this to Mark Millar, did he use this image to say this is Starlight? Because that's a star, like a star equivalent, and that's light. I'm just saying, I tried looking for articles and I didn't find anything, and I feel like this would probably be the closest example that he got the idea of the name for Starlight. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Could be.
It makes
I love that
sense, that's for
scene.
sure. And this is the
Yes.
perfect ending. He finally has once again the final payoff. he finally has his respect and his recognition, and now the town is noted for hosting him as one of the prime residents. Oh, what a wonderful ending. Stuck the landing and all. It
Oh
didn't feel like
yeah.
a story where the ending was nothing happened or nothing will ever be the same again until the next event. This felt like this is a good wrap up. And even though obviously we do get more of Mr. McQueen, it feels like if this was the only story Mark was ever going to do with it, you could be fine with this because it's once again smart writing. If you want to have a story in case it doesn't take off, have it end very creatively, because otherwise you're going to piss off people that much more if you don't have a new volume or reboot, whatever. This is what happens. Things go wrong, people lose interest. Yes. And they're like, oh, this guy didn't deliver on the ending. This is an ending. And the fact that it happens, it gives you more icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's that sensation of this is complete. I'm done. When you have that fulfillment. You can finally rest, so you can chew on it. You can enjoy it more. You can read it again and again, and know how good it's gonna be at the end. So that's exactly how you need to do it. And there's something that has been happening a lot in I guess we are importing issues from anime and manga, because in anime and manga we have that a lot, that it just doesn't end. There's not a proper end, or is the ending is in another material like another series or the anime or whatever. No, you need to have that sensation of finality on the story, and that elevates everything. That makes you feel like you have completed something in reality. That ending is absolutely perfect. Is
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, one of the things I like about this ending too is you could theoretically like continue the story, because you've got a million stories from his past, from his adventures on that planet that we only got glimpses of. Like, imagine
Huh?
doing an anthology series where it's him telling his grandkids all of his war stories from the planet, because everybody believes him now, right? So the grandkids are going to be fascinated by all this stuff. They're going to want to hear everything. So you could easily do a bunch more just one shots, one more limited series telling all of his different adventures. That would be so cool to see something like that.
There's a manga exactly like that. It's called Ojisan from Another World, and it's about a man that was in coma, and in that coma he was transported to another dimension where he became a hero, and he fought valiantly and become basically the savior of this universe. And then he wakes up and he's back again in this world, and he's like, hey, I still have my powers. And basically the whole series is him telling stories about his time when he was in this fantasy world. And because his magic lets him basically broadcast it to a magical screen that he creates out of thin air, he can show exactly what happened. And yeah, is really fun because it's just his explanations, but people see it from another angles. And basically he was an idiot the whole time. He was an absolute joke the whole time. And he was just like, I wanna go home and play my Sega, man. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can do that, and trust me, it works, because there's a successful story on that style of storytelling. Yeah, it works.
100%.
Klobby,
Indeed.
any final thoughts on Starlight?
Well, you guys did a wondrous job of summing it up beautifully, and it is a lovely piece of work that is anything that in this modern times, and it's relatively modern times, that can be uplifting, and that's the biggest word I can think of there. Uplifting and make it, bring you joy and make you want to see it translated properly and correctly to the medium of film. Is both a joyous and a sad feeling, because we know how it would turn out.
Mhm.
But if it could be done by Millar to be faithful to the source material, it would be gigantic. It would do extraordinarily well. And be very,
I believe
very
it
popular.
would.
Yeah, it would be
I
very-
truly believe it would. Yeah, if you were to get like a Sam Raimi or even Matthew Vaughn type of director, someone who actually likes
Ooh.
these type of stories, it could work if he got a guy like one of those involved directors who actually like the comics and understand the stories, and they, actually respect where comics come from. Yeah, I would love to see it with Starlight.
Sam
And I
Raimi-
feel like once again, either it's either gotta be a live action movie on a big budget, or it's gotta be animation for the small screen.
But
Well,
your choice of director is perfect. Sam Raimi has that aesthetic from the 30s and 40s that, yeah, will be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And
I
there-
love to
I
see
mean,
it.
And guys,
I'd love to see it.
Starlight is in Big Game, which is the current Big Miller World crossover. So there's 2 issues out, and I'm just gonna give you this quick 1 page just to show you our boy here. Let's show you
me,
our
Nick.
boy.
Show it to me. I
Right
wanna see
there.
it. I want to see it.
And
I wanna see it.
I'm not gonna give away the art pages, but I'm just gonna show this because this is cool because this shows you if you didn't read Starlight, it gives you an idea of what his life was like. And if you're someone who doesn't know, you're like, oh, I want to know more about this guy because it gives you good context and background into what his life was like. And the kid said, do you still have your old spaceship, Captain? Do you ever use it to go to a supermarket and just freak everyone out? And he says, no, I'll drive a Ford Bronco now, kids. Easier on gas and much less hassle to park. And
This is exactly what I was talking about wanting. Like, this is loving. I love
Yes.
this. I can't wait to read this.
This would be Pepe Larraz. He's a Spanish artist. Pepe Larraz is
Very
doing Big
good.
Game right now on Common Sense.
Nice
Yeah,
art.
Pepe. Yeah, Pepe. And that's the thing. Pepe is very adaptable because think about it. Pepe has to do the tall order of looking at all the guys that came before him from all the books, whether it was McNiven or Jimenez for the Nemesis books, or you had Capullo Reborn, Mateo Scalera for, I think it was Space Bandits. You have obviously J.G. Jones for Wanted. You have all these guys you got to follow up. Obviously, Rafael Albuquerque for Huck. And now obviously Goran Parlov for Sight. He has to do all these things and say, how do I make this fit within my Pepe Larraz style? Yeah. And this panel right here shows you once again that he said, I used to be, around here, no one believed me. Now I got respect. I thought this page shows you, if you didn't read this stuff, you can understand what Starlight's character like. And obviously, if you have read it, you were like, yeah, it definitely is. This is how you do this. So clearly, Mark Millar wrote this comic with normies in mind. And that is important because, we do talk about normies and how much they can obviously hurt things. But as far as wanting to win them over, this is how you do it. Where if you're the seasoned reader and you can look at this and say, yeah, I could see if I didn't know this, I would love this and still understand, not feel lost. And it's a great panel to see him have that wholesome laugh because I am curious to see what becomes of his arc in these issues going forward. I'm almost kind of terrified, not gonna lie, because Nemesis is very scary, very, very scary. So he's got him, and then you got Wesley Gibson from Wanted. Oh boy. But they already hinted at for the cover for Big Game 3. On the cover is Huck himself. And Nemesis hinted at the end of issue 2, he's coming for that big guy from the Midwest. Obviously Huck. And I'm just like,
God, that Huck story was so good. I can't wait to get
you read it? You good, dude? That's
I did. I read it. Yeah, they had that one on.
So good.
That was on one of the. It was one of the.
Which one?
Little reader things.
Huck.
The Huck.
Oh, yeah,
I read
that's
it.
cool.
It was so good. It's so good. I love that. That's why I kept telling everybody to vote for Huck because I was like, I already read it. Let's do this one. I like it.
I
And
need to
this
read
is a
it.
great quote, right? Once again, more great heroic inspiration because the truth always finds its way to the surface in the end, no matter how deep they try to bury it. Yeah, that's the applause line. It almost feels like that moment after like the coach is about to give that final speech before they go back out. post halftime for the Super Bowl, and everyone does the slow clap, and then it speeds up. That's that moment for Starlight right there. So, guys, in the chat, if you like Starlight and you're somehow not reading Big Game, fix that. Because right now it's 2 issues in, and it's wild. It's wild. And yet everything still fits within the context of the story. So, yeah, check out Mark Millar, Pepe Larraz. I'm kind of drunk.
Woohoo! Glad I'm not the
admit
only
it.
one.
The last half hour, 40 minutes, I could start to really feel it hit in. But
That's
chat,
that's what you got. That's what you got co-hosts for, Nick. You're okay. That's what you got. That's
Yeah.
what you got us for.
Yeah.
guys, this has been so much fun to talk about Starlight. Chat, thank you for being here and hanging out with us. Thank you for your super chats from earlier. McFly for your membership as well. Guys, thank you for your support. And I love seeing the comments. Love people who are either new to it or familiar with it and saying, hell yeah, they're talking Starlight. Hopefully this will give you incentive to say, okay, I want to see what's going on with this comic. So this is the part where we're going to wrap it up. Plug our channels. Oh, look at that. Uncommon Sense. Thank you very much for introducing me to Starlight Figure. Dude,
Hell yeah.
that is what it's all about, man. It shows you that no matter how much bad stuff is out there, there's still good stuff out there. It's not going to be as immediate in front of you, but if you go out there and look, the treasures are still out there. Thank you, Uncommon, for that comment. And thank you, Vulcan Lives, as well. Once again, guys, go check out Starlight. And yes, I can confirm my local comic shop says they can still order this copy. So if your shop says we don't have it in stock, they can order it. I can confirm that. They can order it. So
How much is it?
$14.99.
And is the whole 6 issues?
Depending on where
All
you go.
6 issues.
Huh. That's a
bad.
really good deal, man.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely good deal.
All right, chat. We're going to call it a night, and I'm going to let Pablo kick things off.
Hey, again, the review for Blue Beetle is out. So, my review is basically this is a movie about the stereotypes. It's a stereotype, the movie. Even the plot is a stereotype. It's a steal. It's goddamn steal. It's blue steel. Anyway, it was a HBO movie that HBO Max movie that went out on cinemas. Who cares? Also, tomorrow we will be talking about One Piece. We will be talking about. I did something absolutely stupid. Decided that I wanted to fill the Pokédex, including all the weird Pokémons that are not obtainable anymore, without buying the games. I made it. It's a long story. It's really fun because it's playing with economy. And yeah, if you want to know how to trade goods and get rich, that formula works. It's stupid. Anyway, so it will be an interesting stream, and there's more stuff coming. There's more stuff coming for Minas Edge about things that will surprise you. So stay tuned to Minas Edge and Minas Edge Español. Yeah. And Starlight is just awesome. I love it. It was really easy to read, really fresh. It was over in an hour, so I need more. And I enjoy it very much. And talking with you guys is awesome, and especially when it's a really good comic. So thank you, man. And yeah, this was great.
Pablo, thank you as always for being here, sir. 111 episodes strong.
Hell yeah.
And once again, another great story, another little gem we got to unlock to the world. Oh, man, the future. I can't wait to do more. We're going to do more Spider-Man, more Star Wars, more monsters. We'll finally get some DC in there. And maybe soon, maybe a few months down the line, maybe we'll talk about Hawk. Maybe.
Ooh,
We'll
nice.
see. But Pablo, have a great night. Have a great weekend. And I can't wait to check out your videos from Midnight's Edge Espanol, sir. Thank you very
brother.
much.
Take care.
The Common Nerd.
Oh, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, this was great. I'm so glad I got to do this tonight. The Starlight was a great story. I had so much fun reading. Just like Pablo said, it wasn't a very hard read either. Like, there wasn't like massive amounts of dialogue to get through. There were so many great pictures that just told so much story, and all you had to do was look at them and you understood exactly what was going on. So yeah, it was absolutely great. I'm really glad I got to read this tonight. So yeah, I can't wait to do some more of that. Can't wait to dig into some more of that going forward as well. But yeah, thanks for having me, Nick. Shout out to the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm going to drop my links in the chat real quick. I'm actually going to be doing a Beers and Bad Guys stream doing Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom shortly after this. So if you guys want to watch me get drunk and try to beat bad guys and probably end up dying a lot, guys, come over and hang out. We'll be doing that shortly at 11:30. So about 10 minutes after this is over. But yeah, I do videos all the time. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. I did a video roasting Seth Rogen a couple of days ago, and all the Seth Rogen stands are out there trying to downvote my video. So come and check out my channel and come. I'm not even asking you to watch the video. Just come over to the channel and just hit that like button. All right, so we can shove it to all the Seth Rogen stands out there. Let's see. Tomorrow I might be doing a member stream. I've got some Warhammer 40K content coming out on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop next week. We're going to be doing the lore behind the Emperor, parts 1 and 2. Sunday, we've got the Bible study stream at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's always a really good time. A lot of people love that. So definitely come check that out. And then, yeah, Mondays through Fridays, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, the morning prep. I do that every single weekday. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on right now. Thanks for having me, Nick. Shout out to all my beautiful friends over here on the panel. I love being able to come together, you guys, on Friday nights and talk about really good quality comics. This has been such a blast. So thank you guys for having me. Appreciate that.
No, thank you, sir. As always, love having you here, guys. Our gentleman, the commenter, posts his channel in the chat. Go sub to him if you haven't already. Have a great night, weekend, and as always, we'll be in touch. And before Klobby goes, Vulcan, September 8th, that's next Friday, we're going to take the night off, prior engagements, and we'll be back the week after on the 15th. And trust me, it will happen. Thank you, Vulcan Lives. And thank you for your time and support of the channel. Klobby, plug what you got coming up.
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. It was a lot of fun. You guys, I really enjoyed your enthusiasm. You all did a marvelous job of breaking down the comic, a great comic. So I hope everyone who has not read it will go and enjoy it. Let's see here. Tomorrow night, Saturday Night Star Trek, 4 more episodes of reviewed of Star Trek Voyager by Raquel and myself, my wonderful first officer. Sunday night, I'll be on the Sunday Night Geekery with our good buddy Mark D with us here on his channel, 10 p.m. Eastern, where we have a lot of fun hanging out like that. Come hang out with us. And as always, I'm in 2 places on Monday nights on my good buddy J-Man's channel. Now, 3 of the Mondays of the week, we review the Legion of Superheroes from its first appearance to its very last at the end of the Bronze Age in 1984. I mean, 89, sorry. So 1958 through 89. And then I'll do my own show. Since we've finished Jack Kirby month this month, it'll be a whole new month or something. So who knows? We'll maybe just open Mark C. Comic Talk from then, and then we'll see what else we do throughout the course of the week. But I want to thank everyone, and everyone go out and have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, everybody. Have a great time.
You heard the man, guys, and go sub to Clobbering Times. Klobby, thank you for being here, sir. Thank you for your time and hanging out. Always love hanging out with you, sir. Go sub to his channel. You have a great night and weekend. And I will, as always, I'll see you in a few nights.
Yes, sir.
Maybe even Sunday night for the wrap up. We'll see.
Hope so.
And 5 Pico, no big homework in 2 weeks. Just you do your homework. And what I mean by your homework, whatever it is you're reading, catching up on, read that. Because I want to see, there's still a good amount of people here in the chat, which is awesome. That means the majority of you stuck around here, by the way. I want people to come up with ideas in 2 weeks of what you've been reading, new or old, doesn't matter. I want people to say, hey, this is what I've been reading. So maybe there's that one person in chat who's looking for something like, I like what that Vulcan guy has to say, or what that 5 Pico says. I'm going to check that out. Let's spread the good word of what is good out there. So that one normie or two who's genuinely looking, because we actually do get some normies who like this show and really appreciate the show for what it is. And that's awesome that they appreciate it. let's get them something that we could recommend to say, hey, check this out. And hopefully they'll enjoy. So with that all said, once again, thank you for the super chats, the memberships. Toxic Tuesday, episode 100. TMNT next week. It's going to be
So
gigantic.
awesome.
It's going to be gigantic. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Comic Shop Talk. And until then, you can find me Comics Divisions channel Monday, Thursday night, Midnight's Edge After Dark Tuesday and Thursday night as well. And yes, Comic Relief Crusader will be joining us in 2 weeks as well. Yes, huge 100. All right, guys, this is the part where we say good night. There's no
Adios.
fancy
Good night,
intro
everybody.
outro.